Welcome everyone. Welcome to our Physics Wallah PW recording session. So welcome guys. Here we're going to start here by giving you a very good lecture on your this on world regional. Basically, world regional. If we say world regional it's a very good concept. Basically, world regional if you see the questions in civil service, then it is more. We can say it is more this world regional having a dominance in your questions making, and in fact, if you go for the your current affairs, it is also very helpful. In particularly, if we say the questions are coming morely, we can say questions are coming more often on the world regional, and here in these sessions we'll study the major continents in the world and how they are helpful, particularly helpful in the sense of the variety of the factors like your vegetations, okay, climate, soil, and the people, basically the people and their culture, their habits. Okay, many things we'll go to the cover in this in this particular session. Okay, so first let's know our continents here. First we'll go for the study of this your Australia and you can say Australia and Oceania. Australia Oceania means basically first हम लोग ये जानते हैं कि ऑस्ट्रेलिया एंड ओशियनिया व्हाट इज दैट वन. Basically Australia and Oceania, I will refer while studying. Whenever you study your regional part, study first your Oxford Atlas. Atlas means Atlas is very vital. If I say, okay, if I go for the Atlas, then Atlas I can say Atlas, you refer Atlas, basically I will refer Oxford School Atlas. Okay, Oxford Atlas, that will be Oxford School Atlas. Basically, I prefer Oxford School Atlas. It is very good, and that to be, if you go for new edition, that is your 36th, 37th edition. Okay, 36, 37 edition, it is more good, 36 or 37. Okay, so this is the book that I prescribe to all of you, that you go for this your Oxford School Atlas. It is a very good, okay, good atlas, this one. First, before going to this Oceania, Australia and Oceania, first Australia is let us know the Australia about. Okay, some facts and figure. Oceania means here it is included the continents like your, if I am saying it is comes your New Zealand, okay, Polynesia, Melanesia, and Micronesia. Okay, these are the things that we are going to cover, and mostly they cover your Pacific Oceans. These are the particular Australia and Oceania. They mainly cover the regions of, okay, the countries that surrounding by your Pacific Oceans. Okay, Pacific Ocean, which are surrounded by this Australia and surrounding these particular countries, Australia and New Zealand, Polynesia, Melanesia, Micronesia. These are the group of island chain. We'll separately, I will deal this one in this particular total session. Group of islands, I can say group of islands. Okay, next we'll see. This is the Australia, the beautiful continent, and this is famous. This continent is more, I can say, it is a continent plus a country. We can say this is a continent and country, right? Continent and country. Okay, Australia, if I say that Australia is basically, it is the if I say the Australia is only a country which is also a continent also. Australia is the only country and also a continent. If we say Australia, it is in your, okay, western side, Australia is surrounded here, your western side is Indian Ocean, okay, Southern side also your Indian Oceans or Southern Oceans is below that one. Timor Sea, it is on the north. Arafura Sea, it is on the north, and your Coral Sea in the east, and Pacific Ocean is also in the east. So these are the things you see here. Coral Sea is a part in the Pacific Ocean. Also the Tasman Sea also a part of Pacific Ocean. Okay, we can say Coral Sea and your Tasman Sea. They both are the part of your Pacific Oceans, and here you see that is Indian Oceans and southern, west and south your Indian Oceans, also Timor Sea and Arafura Sea. Southern Oceans also south is there below. Okay, below the Tasmania it is generally considered as your Southern Oceans. So this is Australia. Okay, so we'll go in detail, and these are the main cluster of Australia. Okay, is residing located here. I'll come back to this particular figure again, diagram again. Particularly these are the main location of Australia. This is located here. Population of Australia, if I say, it is near about 2.5 crore. Okay, 2.5 crore populations. Okay, let's know about Australia. Again, you see Australia is having divided into many provinces. Like your first is your Western Australia. Provinces means what we say. Provinces, basically provinces means it is your province of we can say that states. Previously, like in India, first we used to say that provinces means the states. Okay, in the British colonial period we say the states. Now it is your British time it is provinces. Now it is counted as states. So these are the provinces of Western Australia. Another is your Northern Territory. Okay, so I can say this is first province, second province, third is your South Australia, third, fourth is your Queensland, and fifth is your New South Wales. Okay, and sixth is your Victoria. Okay, so these are the 6 provinces we can say Australia is having. I can write Australia is having 6 provinces. And so Australia is having 6 provinces. Okay, so these are the total 06 number of provinces, 6 numbers provinces. Okay, 6 numbers provinces. Okay, one is your Western Australia, then Northern Territory, Southern Territory, Queensland, New South Wales, and Victoria. Okay, these are the 6 provinces of your Australia. Okay, 6 provinces of Australia. Next we'll go for, okay, further this is the national flag of Australia. Let's see, this is the national flag of Australia. We can say this is the national flag. Okay, national flag of Australia, you see. Okay, this has more, you can say this is the more resemblance with your UK. Okay, Britain, Great Britain. Okay, UK, we can say rather UK, United Kingdom. So let us know about some facts and figures about Australia. Australia's capital is Canberra. Canberra is Australia's capital. Australia is basically a developed country. We can say Australia is a developed country. Okay, Australia is a developed country. Okay, Australia is a developed country. Okay, major rivers are your Murray-Darling basins. Murray-Darling is the major river. This is the major river, or chief river. We can say it is the chief river of Australia. Okay, chief river of Australia. Currency is US dollar. Australia's currency is US dollar, and basically it is $1 US it is your 54.54 rupees. We can say $1 US is equal to 54.54 rupees. Okay, 54.54 rupees. Major language is your English. Okay, so see, from this you can guess that how Australia is developed. Okay, your Australian dollar is equal to 54.54 rupees. It's too high. Okay, so rather it is here major language is your English. They are mostly, because why English? Because British colonial setup was there. Okay, Australia was a British colonial setup. Before, Australia was the last discovered country or continent, we can say, rather last discovered continent. Better, it is last discovered continent, because in 19th century there is a gold rush. I will tell gold rush. This makes Australia highlighted in 19th century. Australia came into limelight. I can say Australia came into limelight. Australia came into limelight in 19th century. In 19th century due to gold rush. Okay, there is a question in your mind, what is gold rush? Gold rush means when the gold mines, particularly when the gold mines discovery of gold. Okay, discovery of gold make an attractions from the people, your different parts of the world to make a settlement in your Australia, right? So major language is English. Major religion is your Christianity. Christianity is your major religion of Australia. Major mountain is your Great Dividing Range. Great Dividing Range is a major mountain of Australia. We'll further know that one. Okay, Great Dividing Range we can see here. This is the person of Great Dividing Range. This is okay. Next, we'll see major lake is Lake Eire. Lake Eire is the one of the largest lake in Australia. Largest lake in Australia is your Lake Eire, right? So major plateau is your Western Plateau. Western Plateau is your Australia's major plateau. Population is near about Australia's only 2.5 or let's say 2.5 to 2.6 crore population Australia. And if I compare our Odisha's population is much more than from the Australia. Okay, such a tiny continent and tiny continent in terms of if I compare to the Asia, Europe, North America, South America. Okay, your Australia is your small continent. Okay. Okay, if I go for the in terms of your area wise, Australia is the how much? Number one area wise, that if I say area wise largest to smallest, if I say largest to smallest, largest number one is your Australia. First if I say first rank is your Asia, second Africa, okay, third it is your North America, fourth South America, okay, North America, then fourth is your South America, fifth, okay, fifth is your Antarctica, sixth your Australia, and seventh is your Europe. Okay, so these are the chronology, and if you see in the last part also it is clearly mentioned. Okay, it is also clearly mentioned along the your area wise continent. Sixth is your Europe, and then your okay, continent wise it is your okay, Antarctica fifth. Okay, then if we say then Europe. Okay, so here I am just a small reshuffle. Australia is your seventh largest, I can say. Australia, Europe, Australia is your seventh. Okay, seventh largest. Europe is your sixth. Just make a correction. Just okay. Europe is your sixth. I can say Europe is your sixth. Australia is your smallest continent. This is we can say the smallest continent. Okay, some typo error. So Europe is your sixth and Australia is your seventh. Okay, so next see, these are the again the these are your territory Australia, then sorry, Western Australia, Northern Territory, Southern Australia, Queensland, and New South Wales and Victoria. Canberra, you can look here. Okay, you can see here Canberra. Canberra is the Australia's capital. So whenever the question asks where is Canberra, so you can say that one Canberra is located in your New South Wales. In New South Wales, Canberra is located. We can say in New South Wales, Canberra is located. Okay, in New South Wales, Canberra is located. New South Wales, right? You can see the another famous city, that is Perth. Here it is Darwin. Okay, this is Adelaide, Melbourne. Okay, यहाँ पे क्रिकेट मैच होता है मेलबोर्न में. Sydney also there. Sydney Stadium also cricket match. Then Brisbane, it is also there in Queensland. So these are the things, main two major cities. That is your Sydney and Canberra. That is in the New South Wales. Victoria is only having Melbourne. Adelaide, South Australia. Perth is your Western Australia, and in Northern Territory one famous town, that is your Darwin. Okay, right? So further we'll go. Introduction about Australia. We can say Australia is the smallest continent. We can say Australia is the smallest continent among all. Among all, Australia is the smallest continent, right? It is the smallest continent. Like other continents, it is too extraordinary in terms of landscape, climate, and wildlife. Okay, like other continent, it is too extraordinary in terms of landscape, climate, and wildlife. In terms of, you can say, in terms of landscape, climate, and wildlife, Australia is the smallest continent, we can say. Okay, the country has tropical forest, snow-capped peaks, vast arid deserts, and sweeping plains. Okay, if I say this country also having the your tropical forest, how come now it is your come to your mind in a okay, दिमाग में अभी ये रहो कि ऑस्ट्रेलिया ट्रॉपिकल, why it is tropical forest? You can see tropical forest. Okay, just see, just if you look at here, it will be more clear. See, Tropic of Cancer, it is passes through. Tropic of Capricorn. Okay, Tropic of Capricorn means it is, okay, Tropic of Capricorn means it is a torrid zone. This is Tropic of Capricorn. That means if I divide it is make a diagram, this is equator 0 degree, then Tropic of Cancer, it is here. It's 20, this is 30, and 23.5, it is your Tropic of Capricorn. I can say Tropic of Capricorn. See, so this is a torrid zone. Since we know torrid zone in the earth that lies 0 to 30 degree, we can say it is 0 to 30 degree. I can say 0 to 30 degree north south, it is your torrid zone. Okay, torrid zone, this is 0 to 30 degree, we can say 0 to 30 degree, right? Okay, so next you see, so that is why tropical forest is lies in between this particular area, 30 degree. If I say divide from there, okay, you can say 15 to 30, equator is here 10, okay, 0 degree is here and 30 degree. So you can say in between this, the particular portion, your lines, okay, this particular, this is 30 degree, you can say this is 30 degree, let's say this is 30 degree. Okay, this is 30 degree. So in between this one, your tropical vegetation mainly found in this area. So is it clear now? Okay, 0 to 30 degree ଭିତରେ ତମର ଆସୁଛି your tropical rainforest, basically tropical rainforest, okay, or tropical forest we can say. So this is clear. Now you see again. Okay, covered this particular that is your tropical forest, snow-capped peaks, vast arid deserts, sweeping plains covered pasture, as well as beautiful cities. Okay, Australia is also noted for its unique animals like kangaroo, koalas, dingoes, and the platypus. Okay, Australia is famous for which kind of animals, basically kangaroos, koalas, okay, dingoes and platypus. Okay, so these are the main particularly you can say that the unique animals: kangaroo, koalas, dingoes and platypus. Okay, they are mainly. So Australia, if I say Australia lies entirely in southern hemisphere. Australia mainly lies in southern hemisphere mostly. That you can see here. See here, Australia lies mainly in the southern hemisphere. Why? Because 10 degree, okay, यहाँ पे हम देख रहे हैं कि 10 degree है, 10 degree south, okay, 10 degree south, it is like this one. माने if I say here, okay, if I again draw, this is a map, okay, this is equator 0 degree, then Australia is here, 10 degree here, Australia is in between the southern hemisphere. Here you can see here. Just look at here in this map also. This is equator line, you can say. This is the equator line particularly. This is equator. Okay, so Australia lies in entirely in southern hemisphere. Okay, entirely in southern hemisphere. So again we'll say, and the Tropic of Capricorn, I can say Tropic of Capricorn run almost middle of the continent. Tropic of Capricorn runs almost middle of the continent. That we can see here the almost middle of the continent, that you can see here, almost middle of the continent. So Tropic of Capricorn, just look at here again. This is Tropic of Capricorn. This is Tropic of Capricorn. This one, okay. This one your, this middle line. This is your Tropic of Capricorn. Okay, this is your Tropic of Capricorn, which lies entirely in the middle of the continent. We can say it lies entirely middle of the continent. This one, okay, entirely middle of the continent, right? So see, this makes, okay, Australia को पूरा 2 halves रे divide करछ total. It divides the Australia into 2 halves. This is the northern half and this is the southern half, right? Next we will see this one, that it is the only continent in the world, okay, it is the only continent in the world comprising a single country. It is a single country. This is the only one continent which is also a country also. Okay, it is also a country. It is the 6th largest country in the world and is about twice the size of India. Okay, Australia, if I say, it is the only 6th largest country in the world. If I see in the world, it is the 6th largest country in the world. Okay. After �𝐾 largest country जब area wise देखिए, if I say area wise the country, area wise, if I say area wise country, if I say area wise country, 𝐾 number 1 first rank, first rank, if I say it is your India. Second it is your Canada. Third it is USA. Fourth China. Fifth Brazil. Okay. Sixth your Australia. Seventh is our India, we know. Okay, so this is the chronology that we know. This one, Australia is your 6th, we can say Australia is your 6th and 7th is your India particularly. Okay, 7th is your India. Australia is your 6th number area wise size. Okay, so it is about the twice the size of India. That means we know the size of India what? 3.28 million square kilometer. So Australia is near about, okay, is near about, we can say 7 million kilometer, let's say, 7 million kilometer. And if you want to cross check, that is your given your in map also. Okay, in map also it is given. If we say Australia, it is there. Just I can show you here. Okay, just in the last part of the your map, you can see the your this is the different flags are there. Okay, how to utilize? Kemti utilize karibo a particular your this particular atlas. So last pages there are the countries where the information is there. You know, flags and their areas. If you see here, then see you can see here Australia near about it is okay. 76 lakh 92 or 7.6. We can say Australia is, if I say Australia is your 7.6, rather I can say Australia is your 7.6 million square kilometer. Okay, so almost more than 2 times from the India size. ठीक है, okay, आगे देखते हैं. So again, the state of Tasmania is separated from the mainland by Bass Strait. There is an Tasmania. Tasmania is a small tiny island, okay, where the New Guinea is separated from the Australia by the Torres Strait. Just look at here again from the map. This is basically map based question. You can see here Australia, where you see this is Tasmania. Okay, this is Tasmania, you can see. Okay, here it is Tasmania, is a small tiny island, and you can see this Tasmania, this is okay. Here it is the strait. This is the imaginary straight line that it is your Bass Strait. It is okay. Many of the times both parikha reta pacharanti ki Bass Strait why famous. This is because Bass Strait divides Tasmania or separate Tasmania from the mainland Australia. This is the okay Tasman Sea you see here. This is the Tasman Sea. Okay, since Papua New Guinea is another country, Papua New Guinea you see here it is your okay, that is your Torres Strait basically. Torres Strait, right? Torres Strait. So Torres Strait that divide your Papua New Guinea from Australia mainland. You can see here. Okay, Torres Strait. Bass Strait divides your Tasmania from mainland Australia, where the Torres Strait divide your Papua New Guinea from Australia. So questions evoda pacharanti, hala? These are the Arafura Sea is here, just located here. See this Arafura Sea, Timor Sea. Okay, so these are the things you can see. This is the Coral Sea again. Okay, so we came to know that one. कि कौन जान ले कि Torres Strait divides or separate Tasmania from Australia, and where you see Bass Strait is separates Tasmania from mainland Australia, and where Torres Strait separates your Papua New Guinea from your Australia. Okay, further let's see. Okay, next see particular further here, where the New Guinea is separated, we can say the New Guinea is separated from the Australia by the Torres Strait. Though several of islands are suited to the southeast of this. There are many islands are there. Though several of islands are suited to this, the south of this. Among them, the island of New Zealand are the largest of this. Okay. Many of the islands are there. Among that, New Zealand is mainly largest among this. You can see here again. If you see, okay, New Zealand, it is not there, but the diagram. Okay, if I say New Zealand is located from in the far east here, or you can see in the diagram also. If you please open your world political, you can see here. World political dekhucho Australia ro epadi ki achi. This is your New Zealand. New Zealand is there. Southwest region of the Australia is your New Zealand. Basically, it is the New Zealand. Okay, Southwest Australia. Okay, Southwest portions. Next, further we see Australia. Again, Australia, New Zealand, and other groups of islands, okay, in the islands in the Pacific Ocean, together known as Australia or Oceania. Basically, together, okay, this continent, Australia or Oceania, we can together they known as your Australia or Oceania. So Oceania is nothing but major continent Australia, and Oceania, okay, means it include your New Zealand and Polynesia, Melanesia and Micronesia. Clear? Is it clear that how Australia and Oceania means also it consists of, we can say, New Zealand, along with Australia it is New Zealand plus Polynesia. At the starting also we have discussed Polynesia, Melanesia, and it is your Micronesia. Okay, these are the group of islands along with Australia. Okay, Australia and group of islands, it is major, total, the whole, it is called Oceania. Okay, so I hope it is clear. Okay, it is clear. Next, okay, next we will see this one. Okay, I will come back to this diagram again. This diagram ready kon dekhucho, Western Plateau, Tropic of Cancer, this is Gulf of Carpentaria. Okay, just I am go for it. Okay, reading, this is Gulf of Carpentaria, this is Timor Sea, we can see the Timor Sea, right? And this is, okay, Great Dividing Range, this is your Great Dividing Range, you can see Great Dividing Range. Okay, now further we'll move. Okay, this is Victoria Desert, Gibson Desert, okay, this is the central lowland, and then here sea is the Lake Erie. This is your Lake Erie. Okay, this is your Lake Erie, right? You see here. One by one we will study the physiography or land division. We will study the physiography or land division. Okay, physiography or land division. Physiography land division, Australia continent is the least mountainous continent. Basically, it is the least mountainous continent. Most of the land in Australia have an average elevation of 300 meter above the sea level. Okay, if you see most of the particular, you can say most of the land in Australia have an average elevation 300 meter above the sea level, we can say. Okay, 300 meter above the sea level. Okay, so it is a least mountainous continent, माने कम mountain ranges एटी अच्छी. Australia रे बेसी mountain ranges, okay, नहीं. We can say that one कि ज़्यादातर mountain ranges यहाँ पे नहीं है. That is why it is said it as least mountainous continent. Okay, next, three distinct landforms. Okay, three distinct landforms can be identified in order to form west to east. Three distinct landforms we can say. Three distinct landforms that identified, okay, in order from west to east. The Western Plateau, the Central Lowland, you can say the Western Plateau, the Central Lowland, and third is the Eastern Highlands. Okay, Eastern Highlands and the Great Dividing Range, we can say the Eastern Highland and the Great Dividing Range particularly. So these are the major: Western Plateau, the Central Lowland, the Eastern Highland, and the Great Dividing Range. Okay, so these are the major four physiographic division of Australia. Major four physiographic division of your Australia that you can see here, and that same thing you have see here. This is the Great Dividing Range 1. Okay, you can say this is the Great Dividing Range. It is your 1. Then your west. This is your Western Plateau, very hard. Okay, third. Okay, lowland, Central Lowland. This one is third, Central Lowland. You can say Western Plateau, Central Lowland, Eastern Highland, and Great Dividing Range. Okay, and this is your Eastern Highland or Great Dividing Range. This one. Eastern Highland and Great Dividing Range. This one. Okay. Next, देखिए one by one. The first will go for the Western Plateau. Okay. एबे पढ़िबा. First we will read this Western Plateau. Western Plateau we will study. This one, Western Plateau. Western Plateau, basically what it is, a vast plateau spread over the entire western part of the Australia. This is a vast plateau which is spread over the entire your western part of the Australia, occupying nearly 2/3 of its area. Occupying nearly 2/3 of its area. You see here, occupying nearly 2/3 of its area. Western Plateau, 2/3 of its area. Okay, 2/3 of area. This is your Western Plateau. Just you can see here. This is the symbol you look at here. On this plateau, here it is given the plateau. Okay, and this symbol is your mountainous area. This symbol is your mountainous area. This one, mountainous area. This is your mountainous area. See here plateau. So plateau is, just look at here, almost your it comprises of your two. Okay, particularly occupying the 2/3 of the area. माने गोटे country रा almost 2/3, 65%, 66% only by occupied this Western Plateau. How big such one, this Western Plateau? Okay, so जदि क्वेश्चंस तुमको पचारे ताल तुम कौन कहबो वेस्टर्न प्लेट्यू टा हला तमरो योर, और हम लोग ये कह सकते हैं कि वेस्टर्न प्लेट्यू occupies your more than 65-66% of the total geographical area of Australia, right? We can say that one. So next, it is an ancient plateau. Basically, regarding, if you know about this your Western Australia plateau, it is an ancient plateau of very hard rocks. Very hard rocks it is. Okay, Western Plateau is a very hard rocks. We can say this one. This is very hard rocks. This one is very hard rocks. Okay, hard rocks. The plateau is generally flat. Nature is flat and slopes gently towards the east. Just you can see, this plateau is basically flat. We can say this is very flat. This plateau is flat and slopes towards eastern. East means is taraf. This one is your east. Okay, eastern, east direction, flat and slope towards the eastern part, right? Okay, just 1 second. The Alice Spring, okay, and Alice Spring is placed roughly in the center of the Australia. Alice Spring, that is placed roughly in the center of the Australia, right? It is in the roughly in the center of the Australia on the Tropic of Capricorn. You can say on the Tropic of Capricorn. It is placed roughly, right? The 𝐼𝐴𝐻 rock, we can say the 𝐼𝐴𝐻 rock, perhaps the single largest rock in the world. It is almost, its circumference is 10 kilometers. First, one by one. First, we will know, Alice Spring. There are the two major spectacular feature in Australia. That is your Alice Spring and another is your Iris Rock. This particular Alice Spring and Iris Rocks, the major tourist attraction. Australia को बहुत tourist आसंती Alice Spring और Iris Rock देखिए आप. Just look at here. This is Alice Spring. If I say, just look at here, this is Alice Spring. Just look, this is Alice Spring is written here, or better, you see here Alice Spring. This is you look at here, Alice Spring, it is here. It is located in the Northern Territory, Alice Spring. Alice Spring विषय जो question पचर तमे कौन कहिबो? Alice Spring is the place, okay? ये ऐसा place है where the Tropic of Capricorn pass on it. It's a Tropic of Capricorn is basically an your imaginary lines. Okay, it is an imaginary line, Alice Spring. Sorry, Tropic of Capricorn. And Alice Spring is located or falls on this particularly Tropic of Capricorn, right? Okay, next you see the Ayers rock. Okay, Ayers rock, rock Ayers is perhaps the single largest rock in the world. It is 10 kilometers in circumference. Ayers rock, Lake Ayers. Okay, it is the, just look at, see here, lake, it is the magnificent Ayers rock. You can see the magnificent Ayers rock, right? Ayers rock is here. Its circumference is basically, it is more than, okay, 10 kilometers. Circumference is, this is near about 10 kilometer circumference. Okay, 10 kilometers. So circumference, we go for this one, 2 pi r, basically 2 pi r. 2 pi r is your circumference basically. Okay, 2 pi r is your circumference. We can say the circumference of your, okay, this particularly, okay, this rock, 10 kilometers. How big? Can you imagine? How looks it is beautiful? Kete badhiya dekha hochi. How looks it is beautiful? How it is beautiful? The major tourist attraction in Australia, you can say. Major tourist attraction here, right? Okay, this is basically, jodi kahiba ame ki eta hala ancient gote igneous mountain, or you can say granite. Okay, granite rock ro basically ei jaga re tamara rahe, basically granite rock ro basically. Okay, this particular mountain. So next is the central lowland. You can say the central lowland. So again, central lowland is basically, it is lies between, we can say it is lies in between the western plateau and the eastern highlands. Okay, it lies in between the western plateau and your eastern highlands, you can say. It is in between the western plateau, we can say it is in between, placed in between the western plateau, western plateau and eastern highland. Okay, eastern highland, western plateau and eastern highland. Just look at here. Okay, western plateau and your western plateau and your, this is your central lowland. This is, you can see, this is the central lowland. Your left side is your western plateau and your right side, east side your Great Dividing Range or Eastern Highland, you can say, and it is western plateau in the west side. Central lowland is the middle, you can say. So here you see particularly, so they extended this particularly, they extended central lowland, they extended from Gulf of Carpentaria in the north to the southeastern coast of the continent. Okay, this central lowland, they extend from, okay, from the north, Gulf of Carpentaria, from the Gulf of Carpentaria in the north to the southeastern coast of the continent, that you can see here, where you can see, इसको थोड़ा मैं मिटा देता हूँ. Okay, let me clean this one. See here, just you can see, this is from your, this is your Gulf of, okay, Gulf of Carpentaria. This is your Gulf of Carpentaria to this central lowland. This is central lowland. This extend from here to your extend from Gulf of Carpentaria to the south portion, okay, to the southwest portion. This is, so this is the part of your central lowland. You can say central lowland is here, right? You can see from this one, from this to this particular, this is the complete area of your central lowland. ये भी क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, वन क्वेश्चन पचारि पारंती कि केमती रिप करछि, दिस इज गल्फ ऑफ कार्पेंटेरिया, this one is your Gulf of Carpentaria. Or if I show the map, it is more visible also. Okay, if you see this Australia page number, if I say in this 36th edition, it is your 100, 101. Just see, this is Australia. Okay, 100 and 101. That you can see here, 100, 101. Particularly, you can see Gulf of Carpentaria, this one. Okay, ऊपर में कौन है? Papua New Guinea, or here, or it is ऊपर की होची Papua New Guinea, here Papua New Guinea. This is your Gulf of Carpentaria. This is Gulf of Carpentaria from this one. This extends. Okay, central lowland, southeast portion, right? Next, we can say the general elevation. We can say the general elevation, okay, of this region is less than 150 meters above the sea level. General elevation is less than 150 meter, we can say. Okay, general elevation is less than 150 meter above the sea level. General elevation is less than 150 meter, we can say. Okay, less than 150 meter above the sea level. Lake Erie, okay, Lake Erie is 12 meters below the sea level. Okay, Lake Erie is considered to be the largest lake of Australia. Okay, Australia is the largest lake, Lake Erie, and it is located 12 meter below the sea level. Okay, you can see here it is located 12 meter below the sea level. This is Lake Erie, or better you can see here from this map. See this one, Lake Erie. It is located 12 meter below the sea level. This is, or better I can show here, Lake Erie, it is minus 12 meter below MSL, mean sea level, you can say. Below mean sea level, you can say. Below mean sea level, okay. This is Port Augusta and Lake, then Darling, Murray Darling. This lakes also Darling, Murray Darling basins, this lakes particularly, minus 12 meter, you can say. Minus 12 meter from mean sea level. MSL means mean sea level. You can say MSL means mean sea level. Okay, mean sea level. Okay, इसका मतलब है total sea level से 12 मीटर minus 12 मीटर नीचे है. It is it means it is an swampy marshy land. इटा बहुत माने दलदलिया पंकुआ area, we can say. है your swampy marshy land, this one, your Lake Erie. Just look at here, and this is another picture I am giving. Just look at here. Many rivers are drained into this. Many rivers, we can say, many rivers are drained this one. Like see, many small, this is Simpson Desert is here. Okay, many small river like Georgina, Blue, your Erie River, and is there. Diamantina is a major river also, another. Copper Creek, okay, this Thompson, Baracco, okay, these are the many river drains into here this Lake Erie. So that is why it's basically India ko ki that is your Gulf, Gulf of Kutch, Kutch and Kathiawar, Gulf of Kutch jo area ta. The swampy marshland, Lake Erie, it is just like the same, Lake Erie. Okay, so located, if you see in your GIS system, it is your located here. This is okay, located here. Right? Just see. You can see here. See. So the central part around Lake Erie is a low-lying area, basically. Vartaman jota discuss kale kon central part of your Lake Erie, it is a low-lying area, basically a dump area. Dump. You can see here, basically a dump area. That is central lowland. Again, okay, Lake Erie, the central lowland Okay, एक छूट गया था previous slide में. The central lowland is divided into 3 distinct parts. One, the northern part is a region of small rivers which flow into the Gulf of Carpentaria, northern part. Okay, then it is an Lake Aya is low-lying area. Many of the rivers in this area do not reach the sea. Okay, do not reach the sea. They drain into this lake of this area. Thus, this is an area of inland drainage. Okay, like Luni River. India is the Luni River korchi tomar inland drainage. Same thing area konoji many rivers that do not drain to the sea. See, these are the many rivers that do not drain to the sea. Here it is your Indian Oceans or Southern Oceans are here. Okay, say here they do not drain into here. We can say. Okay, they do not drain into here. Rather they drain into the Lake Aya. Okay, rather they drain into the Lake Aya. So see here. This diagram also more clear. You see many small rivers they drain into this lake. Many small rivers basically, and here it is your ocean. That means ocean is far away. We can say ocean is far away, and these rivers directly drain into this particularly we can say this lake. Many small river. We can say this one, right? Achha. Next we will see the southern part. We can say the southern part of the lowlands, central lowland. We are studying this one, central lowland heading. Okay, southern part of the lowland is the drainage basin of Murray-Darling River. If I say your central lowland, okay, central lowland, okay, the southern part is your basically your Murray-Darling basin. This is your Murray-Darling basin. You can see. This particular lowland is a Murray-Darling basin. This is the basin of Murray-Darling basin area. You can see. See this one, Murray-Darling. This is the area Murray-Darling basin, southern part. Here you see. This basin area, Murray-Darling basin area. You can see, right? So, Murray-Darling rivers, the alluvial deposits brought down by these rivers have made this region very fertile. We can say the alluvial deposits, okay, brought down by these rivers have made this region very fertile. It is very fertile river. Okay, both the rivers rise from the eastern highlands. Later, they join together and discharge into the Indian Oceans. Okay, rather we can say both the rivers rise from the eastern highland. They rise from the eastern highlands and later they join together and discharge into the Indian Oceans. This particularly we are talking about this river system. Okay, Murray-Darling. Murray-Darling rivers is an particularly if I say Murray-Darling, this is an particularly if I say Murray-Darling. Okay. These are the actually confluence. This is not a single river chain. Murray is a different river and Darling is a different river. Then confluence is there. Okay, this is Murray and Darling. You can say this is the Murray and it is your Darling. You can say, and also diagram रे भी तमे देखि परिबो एठी diagram रे भी पूरा ऑस्ट्रेलिया रा तमे क्लियरली देखै छी Murray and Darling river रो clear map. This is Murray, you can see. This is Murray and this is Darling. You can see here Murray-Darling river. How they come? You can see. Look at here. Okay, Murray and Darling. You can say this is Murray and Darling. This is right. Darling is north and Murray is south. This you can say. This is your Darling and this is your Murray. Flow is like this. So entire drainage is your Murray-Darling basin. You can say, right? Murray-Darling basin. So you can say entire drainage is your Murray-Darling basins. You can see here. Okay, that this is your Darling and Murray, and they drain into your particularly sea. So we can say the southern part of the lowland drainage basin is the Murray-Darling rivers. The alluvial deposits brought down by these rivers, okay, have made this region very fertile. So this Murray-Darling basin is very fertile, where many agricultural activities like your wheat cultivation or farming activities, vegetables, okay, they grown in these areas. Both the rivers rise from the eastern highlands, later they join in the together and discharge into the Indian Oceans, particularly here we can see. Okay, later you can see here they drain into the Indian Oceans here. So we can say right here, this is the place of Indian Ocean, or if I change the color, that will be more good to see. This is your Indian Ocean, right? This is your Indian Ocean. Okay. This is next. Next, so we have covered your central, western plateau. Okay, first we have covered your physiography. First we have covered your western plateau. Okay, this is your first covered western plateau. Then second, your central lowland. This is your second one, central lowland. Now we will study this one, your the eastern highland. Basically, the eastern highland. This one is your third. We can say the eastern highland, right? Eastern highland. We can say the eastern highland. Third, eastern highland. So let's know. If you see here, eastern highland means the eastern portion. नारू ही जाना पड़ची कि एटा तमरा ईस्टर्न साइड रे ऑस्ट्रेलिया रे ईस्टर्न साइड रे और this one is located at the eastern part of the Australia, right? Eastern part of your Australia. This one is completely located, we can say, eastern part of your Australia, right? See this one, let's see. Eastern highlands extend along the entire coast of Australia. Okay, it extends along the entire coast of your Australia. Okay, from the Cape Walk Peninsula in the north and Tasmania in the south. Okay, if you see Cape Walk Peninsula, this is Cape Walk, just look at here. Again, I am showing here Cape Walk Peninsula in the north and Tasmania in the south. You can see here. See this one. This is your Cape Walk Peninsula. Just you can see here. Cape Walk Peninsula here. This one is your Cape Walk. Okay. This one is your Cape Walk Peninsula. This I can write here. This is your Cape York Peninsula. Okay. And here it again stretches to your Tasmania. It stretches to the Tasmania. So एटी आमे कौन देखुचंती कि ईस्टर्न हाईलैंड स्ट्रेच है कोटू केप वॉक पेनिनसुला एई पटू एई जो एमती मुनटा है दिस इज पॉइंटेड नो दिस इज केप वॉक केप माने जोटा कि तुम्हारा जो थोड़ा सा थिक है दिस स्लोपी सरफेस और स्टीप केप वॉक ओके केप मींस दैट वन स्टीप okay Cape Walk Peninsula to Tasmania. This is the entirely it is covering eastern highland, okay, entirely covering. And from the diagram here also you can see this one, okay, from diagram also you can see from diagram also you can see here this, see this is from here, this place, from this place to this place entirely it is looks comes like this, right? Next you see They are also known as, I can say, they are also known as the Great Dividing Range. They are also known as your Great Dividing Range, you can say. Okay, Great Dividing Range, you can say. They are also known as Great Dividing Range. They are broad and low in the north. They are broad, okay, and low in the north, with an average elevation or average height, with an average height of 900 meters. Okay, they are broad in the north. So here we can see, okay, they are what? They are ଟିକେ ଚଉଡ଼ା ଅଛନ୍ତି or broad, okay, and low in the north, and with an average elevation height of 900 meter here. Okay, they are broad, bit broad, that width is bit broad, and narrow, bit narrow. Okay, they are broad. Here you can see they are broad in the north, is broad and narrow in the north, broad and narrow in the north. And their average elevation, their average height kete, average elevation or average height is your 900 meter. Okay, it is your 900 meter. Thus appears more like elevated plateau than the mountains. Okay, so they more looks like as an elevated plateau. They are more elevated plateau. Okay, than the mountains. In the south, particularly, the highlands are more rugged and high. In the south, okay, they are more, the highlands are more rugged. It is there more rugged and high. The highest peak is Mount, okay, Kosciuszko. Mount Kosciuszko is its highest peak, we can say. Okay, Mount Kosciuszko is its highest peak, which is height is near about 2234 meters. Just look at here, Mount Kosciuszko. Or you can say the eastern highland is here. This is again this diagram. It looks entirely. This is on your particularly cartographical map where you see here. This is Mount Kosciuszko, Australia. Mount Kosciuszko. This is the highest peak. I can say Mount Kosciuszko. Okay, I can say Mount Kosciuszko. Okay, is the highest peak of Australia. Australia, this height is height 2234 meter. Exam rate it is already, it is asked Mount Kosciuszko. It is already there. See this one, Mount Kosciuszko is here. You can look at here, Mount Kosciuszko is here. That is lies in your, particularly you can say, it is your particularly, okay, in your Victoria province, in between the Victoria and New South Wales basically. Okay, in between Victoria and New South Wales, this is, okay, Mount Kosciuszko. This is also a famous national park also. Is also a famous national park, Mount Kosciuszko. Just look at it here. Already this question already this question has already asked in the exam, that about the Mount Kosciuszko, this one, Mount Kosciuszko, right? Okay, this is also a national park in Australia. Next you see here, again the most of the peak, you can say the most of the peak in this part remain snow clad in winter. Winter summer kon huए, most of this peak are snow clad, माने snow ta भरी की थाए. Most of the peaks are snow clad here. This part of the highland is called Australian Alps basically. Okay, this part of the highland is called your Australian Alps. The eastern slopes of the highland is quite steep. I can say the eastern slope of the highland is quite steep. Okay, quite steep. Many small rivers flow swiftly down these slopes. Many rivers flow swiftly down this slope. Okay, I can say many river flow, many of the rivers which, okay, emerges in Australia, that emerges from this a eastern highland. This is very important to know. This eastern highland is basically where this river, many of the rivers, they generate from this eastern highland. Okay, these are the main rivers that they generate from this eastern highland, right? Okay, many of the rivers. This is very important point. Eastern highland यार भितर ही तमरो ग्रेट डिवाइडिंग रेंज अछि आ एठु ही तमरो मेनी ऑफ द रिवर्स दे emerge from here, from this area. So the eastern slope of the highland is quite steep. Steep means it is more slope. We can say steep means more slope. It maintains a more slope, or we can say slope or more gradient. Again, gradient means जहाँ, okay, gradient का मतलब जो होता है slope भी वही होता है, same thing. Gradient means and the slope means is the same. Okay, that means your more downward movement is the water flows swiftly because of this slope. Okay, many small rivers flow swiftly down these slopes and fall into the Pacific Oceans. Okay, and they flow into the Pacific Oceans. And to the west, particularly, these highlands slope more gently towards the central island. And these highland slopes, these highland slopes, they slopes more gently towards the central lowland. Okay, so rather than more gently, if I compare this particular river, they fall, west this highland slope more gently towards the central lowland. That means particularly if I say towards the central lowland, these rivers are more, more swiftly flow. तामाने जो तुम कहबी बेसी गडाणियाटा कोपड कहूची हला ज्यादा डाउनवर्ड कहां पे हो रहा है इस सेंट्रल लोलैंड दिस एरिया इज सेंट्रल लोलैंड एरिया दैट मींस वी कैन से okay here we can make a conclusion over this regarding this that eastern highland is more slope okay or more downward towards the central lowland. You can say this as the central lowland. Okay, so these are the main rivers. We can say these are the rivers. Okay, these are the rivers, particularly these are the river system, rivers mainly these are the rivers. Basically these are the rivers, they are more downwards towards the central lowland. Okay, is it clear now? बुझी होची? Okay, समझ में आ रहा है? Is it clear? Right? Okay, so among the many rivers, like you can say, among the many rivers flowing down these slopes towards the lowlands are Murray and the Darling rivers. Among this, जितने भी river flow हो रहे हैं, among this your Murray Darling river, okay, Murray Darling river, okay, this they okay flowing down these slopes towards the lowlands and the Murray Darling rivers. They are flowing more towards this lowland area. You can say they are flowing more towards the lowland area. Murray Darling river, right? Murray Darling river. They flow more towards the lowland area. Next we will go for okay another, that is okay. So we have covered the major physiographic division of Australia. Just make it okay. Conclusion that one. Your first what we study first? First we study your okay. First we study that first your major physiographic division. First we have covered. We have completed this one, Western Plateau. We have covered this Western Plateau. Then lowland also we have covered, second lowland and the eastern highland. Now we will go for this particularly eastern and the great dividing range, this one, okay, great barrier reef. Also we have covered this one, eastern highland and great dividing range. So regarding great dividing range, I can say this one, okay, great dividing range is nothing but your basically okay, this is the great dividing range. This is the great dividing range is the largest mountain ranges in Australia, you can say, okay, largest mountain range. Just you can see here, Great Dividing Range. This is Great Dividing Range, you can see. This is the Great Dividing Range. This is the largest mountains, and this is an old fold mountain. Okay, this is a fold mountain system in Australia that you can see here. In Australia, you can see it's an completely covers your eastern part of Australia. It's a Great Dividing Range. Exam RCB search it. Already it has came in exam. Okay, exam RCB search Great Dividing Range. Australia रा मन रखो question पचाले करिवो. Great Dividing Range is located in the eastern coast of your Australia, or eastern part of the Australia. Basically, some parts are there your along the your eastern coast. Okay, it's an okay. Already the questions already asked here, or rather you can see in this diagram also. It is clear. This one. Okay, अब यहाँ पे नहीं दिया है, तो rather you can see here. This is the Great Dividing Range, right? So next we'll go for this one. Next we'll go for your Great Barrier Reef. Okay, Great Barrier Reef. This is a very interesting part. Great Barrier Reef. What do you mean by the reef? What do you mean by the reef? The reef is basically is a Great Barrier Reef. You can say Great Barrier Reef. They are basically made up of corals. Basically, they are made up of corals. Corals. What is coral then? Coral, जोटा को ओडिया रे ताको कहंती शैवाल, हैला, or we can say it's an tiny polyps. Okay, it's an tiny polyps. ये सामुद्रिक जीव है, छोटा सा एकदम सामुद्रिक जीव है. It's an coral tiny polyps. This is entirely Great Barrier Reef. Great Barrier Reef is one of the great tourist attraction in for Australia. Many people, tourist people, they from the world corner they come to this Australia for to see the Great Barrier Reef. This one. Just look at here. So Great Barrier Reef, we can say Great Barrier Reef. Okay, of the northeast coast of Australia, basically of the northeast coast of Australia. Okay, lies the Great Barrier Reef. Of the northeast coast of Australia, lies your Great Barrier Reef. It lies along the coast under the shallow water of the sea. Okay, it lies along the coast under the shallow water of the sea. Okay, shallow means particularly not too depth. I can say shallow water means not too deep or not maintaining too depth. ज़्यादा depth नहीं होता है shallow water. Shallow water is not too depth, right? And it for a distance of about 200 kilometers. It is for a distance of a 2000 kilometers. Sorry, for a distance of 2000 kilometers. So can you imagine? They run for a distance of 2000 kilometers. And such a long that you can see here also. Such a long 2000 kilometers they cover. Can you imagine? 2000 kilometers they cover. Okay. The distance from the coast varies from 16 km to 160 km. The distance, particularly the distance from the coast varies from 16 to 160 km. Okay, the distance varies from 16 to 160 km. So basically, what we came to know further, what do you mean by the reef? Reef is a chain of corals, basically. So basically, what is reef means? Particularly, you can say reef means a chain of corals. Reef means a chain of corals or rocks near the water surface. Okay, near the water surface. coral reefs are made up of the skeletons of the sea organisms. They are basically coral reefs. They are made up of your, okay, made up of your skeletons of sea organisms called coral polyps, basically. Okay, sea organism, that is called your coral polyps, right? They are called as your coral polyps. They live in the warm, shallow waters of the oceans in the tropical zones. Basically, where they live in the warm and shallow water. Okay, they live in the warm and shallow waters of the oceans in the tropical zones. Basically, say जो tiny polyps, जो छोटे tiny polyps, corals तांको कहते, they live in the your tropical oceans, basically. Okay, live in the tropical, okay, shallow of the oceans in the tropical zones. When they die, okay, particularly when they die, okay, ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେମାନେ ମରି ଯାଆନ୍ତି, particularly कौन हुए, छोट छोट सामुद्रिक शैवाल जीव ହେଲା, coral कौन ଏଠି କହିବି, corals are the tiny ହେଲା organisms ହେଲା, very, corals are the basically, they are the note echinium, you can write also, the tiny organisms, okay, they live in the tropical warm water. They live in the tropical warm water. Basically, they live in the tropical warm water. They live in the tropical warm water. Okay. They do not, here I am writing that facts on corals, corals home, came to wrong, or corals environment, you can say. Okay, they do not live in deep water, or we can say, or they prefer shallow water. Shallow means not too deep. Shallow water. Also, they avoid dirty or mud water. Dirty or mud water, or we can say they, prefer clean water, excuse me, clean water to grow. Clean water to grow. They prefer clean water to grow. Right? This you can see the Great Barrier Reef here again. This is Great Barrier Reef. How it starts from here to start easy northern portion to start it till, okay, southeastern coast. It's more than 2000 kilometer. Can you imagine? It is more than, near about, we can say it is more than 2000 kilometer. This is this part entirely. Great Barrier Reef, we can say Great Barrier Reef. More than 2000 kilometers. You can say it is more than 2000 kilometers. See here another Heart Reef also there, Heron Island, Lady Elite Iceland. These are the famous tourist place. Famous tourist place, Heron Island, Lady Elliot Island, Herat Reef. This is also all are tourist place basically. These all are tourist place. Basically, these all are famous for your tourism industry. This particular, they all boost your Australia's tourism industries. Right? They all boom your Australia's tourism industry. See again another last. So when they die, their skeleton are left. When they die, their skeletons have left. Millions of the skeletons, skeleton the millions of skeletons are built to form ribs. That means particularly skeleton or ribs through when they accumulate and they form ribs, and it is so hard. Even if if a big ship is coming, okay, so if it encounters this cell, the ship may break. In your last 2 years back, there is an oil tanker came from Japan, crude oil that comes from your East Asia, Japan to it was go via to the any of your African countries. So when it near Mauritius, when it mix and an accident, and because of this rip, it makes an accident. This here somehow it's a reef. This is the area of reef. So how why I wanted to say all these things, because to convey you or jadek chahuntili ki reefs are so so hard. These reefs are so hard. These particular reefs are too hard. We can say they are too hard. Okay. So the Australian coral reefs, particularly Australian coral reefs, has developed in the form of ridge. Basically, Australia's coral reef basically semane develop as the form of a ridge. We can say as a form of a ridge. Ridge is a raised strip that grows upward. Ridge is a particularly is a raised strip. It is basically a raised strip. It goes upward from the ocean bottom. Okay, ocean bottom se upar ko uthita. It goes upward. Okay, ocean bottom. It acts like a barrier to the ships coming to the eastern coast of the continent. It is basically called way. It acts as a barrier. Ocean bottom re emti upar ko mane uthithandi. They just barrier reef are like this. From the ocean, they raise from the ocean bottoms. Okay, and they are so hard. Particularly, they are so hard that they are just act like an ridge particularly. Okay, or we can say a great wall. They act as a great wall to the ships they are coming. That is why I said that the ships, okay, it's like a barrier to the ships coming to the eastern coast of the continent. Okay, the eastern coast to support the continent they at these reefs are, they act like a barrier. So strong, so rigid these particular reefs are. What I wanted to say. Okay, so with its clear waters and amazing varieties of corals, with its clear water and amazing variety of corals, okay, and fish, the Great Barrier Reef is major tourist attraction. It maintains a major tourist attraction, particularly you can say. Okay, this area is particularly, these are the reefs. Particularly you can say these are all are reefs. Strong, strong reefs. Or I can write here, they are too rigid that act like a strong wall to the incoming waves, oceanic waves, towards the incoming oceanic waves, I can say. So strong walls, these are, right? So strong wall, they are incoming your waves, you can say, right? So this is all about the Great Barrier Reef that we came to know. Okay, Great Barrier Reef. There are some few places that I'm going to say. What are those important places? Port Douglas, Cairns. Okay, these are the important place where the tourists are basically they are coming. Okay, Port Douglas, Cairns, then Townsville, Errol Beach. This is one famous beach, Errol. Okay, when you go to Australia, this is so beautiful place. Okay, many tourists are coming to this place from the far away to reach here particularly. Okay, then your Whitsunday Island. This is also very famous island, Whitsunday Island particularly. Then it is your Gladstone, okay, Moon Rocks. So these are the particularly major areas where. Then Hervey Bay and Brisbane. Brisbane is another important town of this one. So particularly these are the particular places where you find the Australia's major areas. Okay, right? Okay. Okay, then so I can say, so this is all about, we can say, okay, Australia. This is now we are going to study this part today, that is your climate and vegetations. Okay, climate and vegetations. Okay, अगर हम लोग ये बोलेंगे climate and vegetation, okay, regarding Australia. This is we are studying regarding the Australia. So Australia, we know Australia is the small continent. Australia is the smallest continent, and also country wise, also Australia holds your 6th rank before India, right? 6th rank. So Australia is completely, if I said that just on making a review, Australia southern hemisphere, it is completely reside in the southern hemisphere, and Australia's population is only 2.6 crore population. Australia's population is 2.6 crore. Okay, we'll see. Continue with this one. Climate and vegetation wise, since Australia lies completely in southern hemisphere, if it is completely in southern hemisphere, it has its seasons opposite to that of the countries lies in the northern hemisphere. Okay, so it has the seasons that is lies completely opposite to that of the countries in the northern hemisphere. Means when it is winter in India, it is summer in Australia. Okay, okay, jodi India re summer heichi, Australia re winter, jodi Australia re summer heichi, India re tale winter, because India Australia re jodi koibi, India and Australia, they both are in the leading. Here this is your northern hemisphere and this is your southern hemisphere. India resides here, we can say India is here, and this is northern hemisphere, and Australia is here. This is Australia. So India and Australia northern hemisphere. So when here it is winter, then Australia is your summer here. Southern hemisphere, this is completely, and when it is here your in summer, here it is winter. Okay, here it is winter, Australia. So this is the segregations. So since we know that Tropic of Capricorn passes through the middle of the Australia, we know here, just see the diagram, Tropic of Capricorn. This is. This is your Tropic of Capricorn. This is. Okay, this is your Tropic of Capricorn. Okay, this is Tropic of Capricorn, that is passes through middle of your, okay, passes through middle of your Australia. That is why more than half of its tropical climate, okay, se jo kon hoche Australia ra half of the tropical Australia faces your tropical climate. This one, half of the tropical climate. The remaining part falling under a temperate latitude. Remaining part is falling under your temperate latitudes, basically temperate latitudes. Okay, has a temperate climate basically. The continent is divided into various climatic regions and has distinct climatic vegetations. If we see this one, this continent has divided into various climatic regions. Various climatic regions is there, okay, and has distinct climatic vegetation accordingly as follows, particularly. Okay, it is tropical monsoon, okay, in the northern part of the continent, including, okay, if you see here vegetation, just look at here. This is the natural vegetation. Just see northern desert. You'll see here. This is northern desert. Okay, this is monsoonal climate. That is the area of Darwin. Just you can see. Again, open the map. I will show here. Okay, this is Darwin. This part is your Darwin, particularly. This is your, okay, Queensland province, and this is your Darwin. You can see. Okay, Darwin province is here. Particularly, Darwin is here. This is your Darwin. Okay, and this is your Queensland province. This one is your Queensland province. This is your Queensland province. This one. Okay, and this is your subtropical. This is temperate, cool forest, and wet tropics. So how the Australia is again subdivided? You can see the natural vegetation here. Tropical monsoon forest is here. This is then tropical savanna. You can see tropical monsoon, tropical savanna, temperate grassland, then Mediterranean vegetations, then temperate evergreen forest. This is here. This is your temperate evergreen forest. You can say temperate. This is, I am right. Temperate evergreen forest. This is your tropical monsoon forest. This one is your tropical monsoon. These both are your tropical monsoon forest. Okay, tropical monsoon forest here. This tropical monsoon forest. This one. This is your desert. Tropical desert, I can say. This is your desert vegetation. This is your desert vegetation. Desert vegetations are here. You can see this is your Mediterranean climate. This part, we'll study this one. Mediterranean. This is Mediterranean climate. This is also Mediterranean climate, right? And this is temperate grassland. You can see this is the temperate grassland. This is, we can say, this is temperate grassland. That is your temperate grassland. यहाँ पे देख रहे हो आप temperate grassland. Okay. The tropical monsoon forest. This is also tropical monsoon forest. These are the things. Okay, and this particular your tropical savanna. This one is your tropical savanna, means grassland. Tropical savanna climate. So this is the all total. We have segregated this one, the vegetations of natural vegetation of Australia. Your mostly from here diagram you can see clearly most part of the Australia is a desert vegetable. Basically, they are the desert vegetations where it is tropical savanna climate, okay, tropical monsoon, then Mediterranean climate, temperate grasslands, and temperate evergreen forests. They are mostly. Okay, this is mostly, okay, temperate evergreen forest. So this one you can say. So first we'll go for one by one vegetation. Okay, first we'll go for tropical monsoon. In the northern part of the continent, including part of eastern slopes of the Great Dividing Range, particularly, you can say part of the we are covering the Great Dividing Range, eastern slopes of the Great Dividing Range. The climate is of the tropical monsoon type. This region is influenced by the monsoon winds. ठीक है जी, this region is mainly influenced by your monsoon winds, basically tropical monsoon. Okay, these are the tropical monsoon type. This region is influenced by the monsoon winds, basically. Okay, northern part of the continent, you can see this one monsoon winds. Northern part of the continent, this one, you can see northern part of the continent, this one's total. Okay, monsoonal climate, including the eastern slopes of the Great Dividing Range. This is you can see, this is monsoon, including the, this total is monsoonal. This total is monsoonal. You can see this total is monsoonal. Can you see this one? Australia's this part is monsoon, including the eastern slopes of the country. Australia. It देखी पड़ो till a pakru neki till can see the basics. This is completely your tropical monsoonal climate or forest. Accordingly, vegetation is also there. So later we this one monsoon winds. Then we can see monsoon winds which reverse their direction according to the seasons. Here what happened? Monsoon winds reverse their direction according to the season. They blow from the northwest during summer and from the southeast in winter. Okay, they blow from the northwest during the summer and from the southeast in winter. In summer, particularly, that means it is completely it is opposite. In summer, okay, or this particularly, okay, in summer it is from the southwest. So the India रा देखिए हुआ, अगर हम लोग इंडिया के comparison देखेंगे, it's just look at this map again. We are getting southwest monsoon from southwest direction, southwest monsoon, southwest direction, but here we are getting from Australia's, it is in the northwest direction. You can see this one, northwest direction here, just opposite. Similarly, we are getting in winter northeast direction, but they are just opposite. Okay, in winter they are getting southeast direction. Okay, from southeast direction they are getting winter from southeast direction. This is there, completely opposite, we can say. Okay, completely opposite. So okay, in summer these winds reach the northern part of the continent after crossing long routes over the oceans. Okay, we can say after crossing the long routes over the oceans, these winds reach the northern part of the continent after crossing the long routes of the ocean. Hence, they are moisture laden and responsible for heavy rains. Hence, they are moisture laden and responsible for heavy rains. Okay, moisture laden and responsible for heavy rains. Thus, this region has warm, wet summer and cool. This region has warm, wet summer and cool, dry winters. Okay, we can say this region has warm, wet summers and cool and dry winters. Tropical deciduous forest. So we can say this particular they have warm, wet summers and cool, dry winters and tropical deciduous forest. So this is all about your Australia's your tropical monsoonal climate. Second we will go for okay, summer cool, dry and tropical deciduous. Deciduous means your plant or tree plant shed their leaves. Okay, shed their patra joda diyanti, shed their leaves. Okay, shed their leaves during a particular season. During a particular season and regenerates in spring. During a particular season, that is your autumn, and regenerates in spring particularly. Okay. Then tropical grassland. Moving south towards the interior, jodi ame jiba moving south towards interior, the climate changes to the savanna type. If we go to the south towards interior, just look at the map again. Okay, moving south towards the interior. That means from monsoon north to south, when you are going to the south, from north to south. Okay, from here to here, suppose you are moving. Then interior bit you are finding tropical savanna type climate. Okay, tropical savanna type climate. So savanna type climate in the climate savanna type. Here the amount of rainfall decreases considerably. You can find here the amount of rainfall decreases considerably. Okay, rainfall occurs only during summer. Here rainfall occurs only during summer. Okay, only during summer your rainfall occurs only during summer. Here the vegetation in this region consists of tropical grasses. Vegetation in this region consists of tropical grasses with some small trees. Okay, tropical grasses with small trees. It is an area of tropical grassland or savanna vegetations. Particularly, we can say that one. The vegetation in this region consists of tropical grasses, basically tropical grasses with some small trees. Basically, some small trees. It is an area of tropical grassland or savanna vegetations, particularly. Okay, so basically we can say that a tropical grassland is a typical characteristics of your savanna climate. Savanna climate. Okay, savanna climate is the typical characteristics of savanna climate. Right? Typical characteristics of savanna climate. Okay, grassland. For example, you can say tropical grasslands. Okay, we'll say this one likes or tropical grasslands, particularly you will find in this year. So this is the tropical grasslands, we can say. Okay, this is your tropical grassland. Grassland or savanna, particular. Right? Next, we'll go for temperate forest. We'll go for next then temperate forest. We'll go for temperate forest. Okay, what is temperate forest then? Temperate forest basically, temperate forest, the southeastern slopes of the Great Dividing Range, particularly. Temperate forest means you can see the region here. Temperate forest we will see. This is the temperate region. This is temperate region. Temperate, what do you mean by the temperate region? Temperate forest you will find here. And this is your Great Dividing Range here. Already previously we know in the previous class that Great Dividing Range is here. Particularly if I say, okay, Great Dividing Range is here. Particularly this is your mountain Great Dividing Range. Okay, this is your Great Dividing Range. Okay. Sorry. Great Dividing Range, we know this one, Australia having mountain, that is your Great Dividing Range. Okay, this is your Great Dividing Range that we know. So here what we have studied now, the southeastern, that is the Great Dividing Range, and the island of Tasmania have a moist temperate climate. Island of Tasmania, that is also having your moist, okay, moist temperate climate. Both these regions have rainfall throughout the year. So both these regions, they have the rainfall here throughout the year. We can say both these regions have rainfall throughout the year. Okay. Okay, eastern slopes, that you can say eastern slopes of Great Dividing Range. Okay, this is Great Dividing Range is the, we can say this is the your largest fold mountain range, in Australia. Okay, the vegetation consists of temperate forest. Basically, the vegetation consists of your temperate forest. Basically, temperate forest vegetations. Then your temperate grasslands. Temperate forest basically. So we came to know this one. This particular dividing range area, A area रे तुम्हारा temperate forest. Okay, यहाँ पे देखने के लिए मिलता है. मैंने in fact if we correlate which particular cities Australia's particular, that means temperate, that means your Sydney, Canberra, Melbourne particularly. If we see Sydney, Canberra, okay, Sydney, Canberra, particularly Brisbane, okay, Brisbane, Sydney, Canberra, mainly we can say these are the three particularly cities, that is your Brisbane, Sydney, Australia's capital, we can say Brisbane, Sydney and Canberra. Brisbane, Sydney, Canberra, they all are located here particularly. Brisbane, Sydney and Canberra, these cities are located here. These cities. Okay, these cities are located at Brisbane, Sydney and Canberra. Right? Okay, Brisbane, Sydney and Canberra we can say. Next, we will see this one. Okay, now it is clear. This is easy. Temperate forest. This is a very pleasing climate here. Temperate forest. Neither too hot nor too cold. Temperate type. Okay, that you study here. Both these regions have rainfall throughout the year, but vegetation consists of temperate forest. Next, we will go came to the your temperate grassland. Right? Temperate grassland. Temperate grassland कोटी देखा होची particular जब देखिवा where it has located. Temperate grassland means again this part. This is your temperate grassland. Already we have studied that one. Okay. This is your temperate grassland. This area. This is particularly your temperate grassland. This one you can say. This one is your temperate grassland. This area. So temperate grassland, moving west from the temperate forest region. Okay, west from the temperate region. West. Okay, this is the western part. It is indicating that from west of the temperate forest. That means moving in a western direction from temperate forest area, western part. You will find what region towards the Murray-Darling Basin. Towards the Murray-Darling Basin, the climate is of the steppy type. The climate is of the steppy type basically. Okay, the amount of rainfall, okay, drops to a greater extent. The amount of rainfall that drops to a greater extent basically. Okay, to a greater extent because of the rain shadow effect of the Great Dividing Range. Okay, Great Dividing Range, it is having an rain shadow effect basically. Okay, this is a rain shadow effect. Great Dividing Range having an rain shadow effect. Consequently, only grasses grown in these regions. Only grasses grown in these regions. It is an area of temperate grassland known as downs. Basically, in such areas, your grasslands has grown. Basically, visible grasslands. That is your downs. That is called known as your temperate grassland, which is known as your downs. Remember, this area produces large quantity है large quantity of wheat farming is high. Australia is one of the leading producer of wheat, gaham. Okay, Australia is one of the leading producer of wheat, okay, in the world. Leading producer of wheat in the world, Australia. This is known as your Downs particularly, right? This is the area, like wheat production. This was, okay. So that you can see here, temperate grassland, that is your wheat productions here. This is basically also wheat leading producer. This one, this area, and this is also again, this area will come for your Mediterranean climate. Mediterranean climate also. Both these areas, temperate grassland and this one, you will go for downs. Wheat cultivation is there. Okay. Downs are the good grass that is you are feeding to your animals also. Animals means I mean your cow and sheep and buffaloes, they are also getting, because Australia also one of the leading producer of your dairy products. ये जो grassland हुए downs रो particularly, a temperate grassland टिके रोज तमरो downs particularly, you can say downs. Okay, that is a very nutritious grass. Downs is your very nutritious grass that is generally feeded to the your particularly your cows, buffaloes and your sheep animals. Okay. So consequently only grasses in this region. It is an area of temperate grassland known as your downs. Next, your Mediterranean climate, you can see it is your Mediterranean climate. Okay, Mediterranean climate. The Mediterranean type of climate is found in part of the coastal regions of the southern Australia. Part of the coastal regions of your southern Australia. These regions in the temperate latitudes receive moderate rainfall during the winter. Particularly what? They receive your moderate rainfall during the winter. Particularly. Okay. Mediterranean climate. These regions in the temperate latitudes receives moderate rainfall during the winter. You can see here, this is winter. This particular place, this is also Mediterranean climate. These two are having winter rainfall. Okay, you are having winter rainfall, this one, right? Winter rainfall. The vegetation is of the Mediterranean type. What is short evergreen trees, basically short evergreen trees and bushes with deep roots and shiny leaves. Okay, particularly vegetation you will find short evergreen trees and bushes particularly, and bushes with deep roots and shiny leaves. Deep roots and shiny leaves also. Okay, short evergreen trees, Mediterranean particularly, very short. And means जो ग्रीनरी टा हुए से ग्रीनरी टा तमरो particularly for a कम time period पे हुए particularly greenery. Okay, only in during the winter time. The green that retains, that is only in the during the time of your winter. Apart from that, it is not there. That is want to convey. Okay. Next, we will see the desert climate. Basically, desert climate. Okay, we'll see the desert climate. Here, much of the western plateau consists of hot deserts. Basically, much of the western plateau that consists of your hot deserts. Basically, hot deserts. The Great Sandy Desert, Gibson Desert, and the Victoria Desert. This region receives very scanty rainfall, especially towards the west. Desert climate. Next, much of the western part. Then next come to your desert climate. See, this is your completely a desert climate. Okay, completely your desert climate. जदि हमें कंपेयर करिबा ऑस्ट्रेलिया रा मैक्सिमम पार्ट okay is your desert. If I say as for the tropical savanna and desert जदि मिसेबा हैला is more than 50% or more than 60% of your Australia is an desert. Only Australia's only eastern part or southeastern part Australia is populated. Otherwise, Australia is almost a dry continent. We can say Australia is almost a dry continent. So if you see, this region receives very scanty rainfall and especially towards the west. We can see here in diagram also, particularly. Okay, this region completely. There are so many deserts: Great Sandy Desert, Gibson Desert, Simpson, okay, Great Victoria. These are all laying in the desert climate. So here the surface is sandy, rocky, and the vegetation is thorny crops and cacti bushes. Thorny crops and cacti bushes. Okay, so these are the surface sandy. If you see here in desert climate, the surface is sandy, rocky, and the vegetation is thorny shrubs and cacti. Short thorny acacia or mulga, we can say short thorny acacia or mulga grown in this region. Okay, in this region, short thorny acacia or mulga grown in this region. Along the margins of hot deserts, one kind of short variety of eucalyptus is also known as Mali. Particularly, Australia, since we know Australia is in particularly dry continent. Among जितने भी continent अच्छे ता भीतर Australia ला सबुठु dry continent. Okay, it is a dry continent. So dry continent means particularly there is a scanty of rainfall. Since we know that 60% of Australia, more than Australia, is your drier part. You can see 60% of our Australia, that is your dry. Okay, so it is a drier continent. So here we came to know there is an thorny or cacti type plants. Okay, that means they are not having leaves, mostly they are thorns. Okay, from among that thorny acacia, or that name is mulga, grown in this region. Acacia or mulga in this region. Along the margins of hot deserts, one finds short variety of eucalyptus, that is known as your Mali. Eucalyptus, Mali is an, so questions, if questions are asked, what is Mali? Mali is an short variety of eucalyptus. Okay, short variety of eucalyptus, particularly Mali is a short variety of eucalyptus. Okay, right? Okay, this is Mali. Next we'll go. This is all about the your climatic vegetations of Australia. Now we'll see this one about your natural resources of Australia. This is very interesting to know. Natural resources. What is the natural resources of Australia? Okay. First we'll come to now as vegetation or flora. Okay, it is vegetation or flora, we can say. Australia has a remarkable variety of plants that unique to this continent. Okay, Australia it is an unique variety of plant that is okay, remarkable variety of plants particularly that is unique to this continent, for this continent, very unique to this continent. The most common tree of Australia is eucalyptus. Eucalyptus is most common variety Australia. Okay. This is an evergreen tree, also known as the gum tree. Particularly, this is an evergreen tree which is also known as your gum tree. Gum. Okay. 450 varieties are found here. Basically, you can say 450 varieties are found here. They can grow maximum up to 125 meter and minimum 1 meter height. These eucalyptus gach jo dekhucho, they can grow a maximum up to 450 varieties. Okay, 450 varieties. That is, can you imagine 450 varieties you can see here. They grow maximum up to 125-meter height. Okay, they grow maximum up to 125-meter height, and you can see minimum up to 1 meter. There is a difference. Minimum up to 1 meter height approximately. A few varieties produce oil used for medicinal cause. Okay, among that, जो भी 450 varieties है, among that few varieties they produce your oil that is used for your medical cause, basically medical cause during cough. को जिनसे भाई कहाँ पे यूज होता है? They mainly used for your cough, cold and headache, basically cough, cold and headache. Okay, the variety is your Jarrah and Kari. Jarrah and Kari variety are the sources of timber, basically. Okay, this is particular your written that one eucalyptus basically ଆମର ଯେମିତି କହିବା ଆମେ ଅମୃତାଞ୍ଜନ ହେଲା ଅମୃତାଞ୍ଜନ जो बाम यूज हुए अमृतांजन ठीक है हेडेक अमृतांजन फॉर हेडेक वी आर यूजिंग अमृतांजन हमें समस्त करती हेडेक में we use अमृतांजन very commonly for our headache. So this eucalyptus tree that provides that particular ingredient for your making for your अमृतांजन. That's basically this is for your अमृतांजन. Eucalyptus basically for your अमृतांजन basically. Okay, then Jarrah and Kari, this variety are sources of the timber. Jarrah and Kari are the basically the sources of timber basically. Okay, Jarrah and Kari. Okay, they are the sources of timber basically. Timber means timber are used for your construction. For what? Construction. How the timbers are used? They are used for your construction of house, okay, furniture, industry, industrial uses, then your industrial uses, then for your shipping, ship, cargo, okay, then your inland navigation, for inland navigations, okay, inland navigation. So many they are use this one. Inland navigation they are mostly use this one particularly. Yeah, the inland navigation they are mostly used for this one, right? Okay, Jarrah and Kari. This you have to remember. These are the two varieties of timber that mostly they are used for this one, right? Next we'll go for the again continue the tropical forest in the north and the northeastern abundant in palms, bamboos, cedars, beeches. These are the if you go for your tropical forest, you can say tropical forest in the north and northeast they are abundant in palms, palm variety, bamboos, cedars and beeches. Where the temperate forest have many varieties of eucalyptus. Where the temperate forest have many varieties of your eucalyptus. Okay, Australia has extensive tropical grasslands. Okay, extensive tropical grasslands in north and the temperate grassland in the downs at the east provide natural pastures, grassland for animals. Okay, that is natural pastures and grassland for your animals. You can say Australia have an extensive tropical grasslands. You can see that is where we have see here extensive tropical grassland. This one, this is from your we can say this one Australia that grow from this your northwest to completely in the eastern part. Such a vast region, extensive tropical grasslands you can see here. Australia that is covering in Australia extensively, right? Okay, that is called your downs at the southeast, provide natural pastures or grassland for animals. Note. Then again, wattle, basically grassland wattle, a sweet smelling acacia, particularly a sweet smelling acacia is common, okay, all over the Australia. Wattle is a particularly sweet smelling acacia. This is very basically, okay, an acacia. This is an wattle is an acacia variety. Means your dry type plant. Common over Australia. It is a tall tree with golden blossom. Tall tree, golden blossom during summer. This flower is Australia's national emblem. You can see. This is just see. This is wattle. Okay, golden wattle flower. This is so beautiful. You see this one? This is Australia's national emblem. Okay, Australia's national flower. This is Australia's national flowers. That is your wattle. Okay, that is your wattle. Australia's national flower. This one, Australia's national flower, wattle. Right? And this is an acacia variety. This wattle is an variety of acacia variety. This belongs to your acacia family. Okay, this belongs to your acacia family, wattle. Right? Okay, next we'll go for this one. We'll come to this one. This is an koala. We can see this one, koala. Okay, this is then flora completed of Australia. Then we'll come to the your fauna. Okay, fauna. Fauna basically the continent is rich in wildlife. Basically, this continent is very rich in wildlife. Jemti Australia में देखिले, it is very rich in your particular particular some variety rich in particularly your particularly you can say that one savanna type. Okay, means a dry type of forest eucalyptus variety. So we have already seen that one eucalyptus variety is a dry savanna type, and 450 varieties of eucalyptus are there available in Australia. Can you imagine 450 varieties of Australia? It is too big, means I mean too large. You can see here we have completed study Australia having 450, okay, 450 varieties are found here. Your particularly you can see this one, okay, the Australia's remarkable variety plant and unique continent. This is most common Australia is eucalyptus. So eucalyptus you can see this one 450 varieties found here. Okay, they can grow maximum 125 meter. 125 meter means particularly how much feet? How much feet? Maximum 125 meter. 125 meter, 1 meter is equal to 3.3 feet. So you can see this is near about they can grow up to 450 feet or 125 meter and minimum up to 1 meter. Okay, 3 feet से लेके तुम्हारा 450 or 475 feet तक it can grow approximately. We can say this one. So again in wildlife also Australia is also very rich in your wildlife. How? They are such unique that not found in anywhere else. This particular we are going to study now. Some varieties of animals, those are not found in any other continent. Exclusively they are found in your Australia. Let us know quota. क्या मिला देखिए more than 40 types of kangaroos varieties. Kangaroo, we know that one. Kangaroo are found in Australia. Okay, and they're basically Mara. Okay, this question already came. Australia belongs to marsupials family. Australia mainly belongs to your marsupial family. Okay, such family have produces their stomach to carry their young ones. Such particularly, okay, such family have pouches their stomach to carry their young ones. Okay. Kangaroo is basically one variety where they generally carry their infants or their particularly kids in their own pouch, in their particularly in your, that is in their stomach. They're having a pouch, and basically that in that pouch, though that is nature creation. That infants or kids, they basically located in that pouch. Okay, that they have adopted such. That is called your Marsupial family. Such family have pouches their stomach to carry their young ones. Okay, tanga baby manungu say kangaroo, they carry their baby in their pouch. Kangaroos feed on grasses. Basically, kangaroo feed on grasses. Kangaroo, they live on the grasses. They hoops and lips and reach maximum speed at 48 km/h. Kangaroo, যদি দেখিবা 48 km/h kangaroo can run at a time. 48 km/h kangaroo can hoops and lips, particularly hoops and lips. ঠিক আছে, hoops and lips can particularly, they can ঠিক আছে, reach to a maximum speed of 48 km/h, right? 48 km/h. Hoops and lips মানে ডেই কে kangaroo কেমতি করে, they jump from one place to other. Okay, and by such they increasing their speed, kangaroo. Okay. Then after kangaroo, wallabies and koalas also belong to marsupial families. Wallabies and koalas, they are also belong to marsupial family. Wallaby is a kangaroo-like animal. Wallaby is also a kangaroo-like animal, but smaller. They are basically smaller wallabies. Okay, where the koala is having button eyes and flat nose. Okay, koalas, they are having, this is koala, very cute. Most of the teddy that we saw, this is, belong to this koala. Jete amar सब teddy बना होचे, teddy bear for gift or other purpose, this is from your this is koala, very cute. Okay, wall drop jete देखियो, this is very cute creature. Now they are also being endangered. Okay, koalas are like endangered, very cute. They are having flat nose, you can see they are having flat nose and this your bulge eyes. It's very beautiful, this koalas, they looks very beautiful, this one. Okay, so we can see this teddy bears were fashioned after koalas. These teddy bears are after koalas. Teddy bear जोड़ा वर्तमान बना होची जो भी, that is now isn't commercialized. Okay, they are basically koalas. Next we'll see, we'll come to this one, that is platypus. Platypus is a primitive animal here. It lay eggs and suckles its young. Particularly platypus, why it is an exceptional one? This is very important. Q platypus important hai. It is basically a mammal, but it lay eggs. It means mammal means it is only, they do not lay eggs. Generally what we know, mammals, particularly if I say, but we know that one, mammals, okay, mammals give birth to youngs. Okay, give birth to the youngs. They do not feed. They do not feed their young ones or kids or infant youngs. They do not feed their youngs. Okay, but in case of platypus, it is completely exceptional. Platypus laying eggs, but what you find here, lay eggs but suckles its youngs. Okay, that means they are basically breastfeeding, that is we can say. Suckle its youngs means they they take milk from the mother, that means suckles hela, suck kariki generally niyanti, mammals mane kon suck kariki milk niyanti. So here it is external, egg bhi dabo but suck, milk suck karibe tar young ones. Generally webbed, fitted and tail, this is, you can see, this is generally webbed, fitted and tails. This one they are having the tail also. This is platypus. This is only unique to Australia continent. Okay, this is only unique to your Australia continent, this one platypus. Okay, next. Okay, next, Australia's unique bird is emu. Emu is there, is a flightless bird that can run very fast. Okay, flightless bird, emu, you can see, this is emu. This is a flightless bird basically. Okay, this is a flightless bird. Okay, it can run very fast. So if I say the difference between, if I say emu in Australia, emu in Australia is similar to ostrich in Africa. Okay, ostrich is a bird, it is same. Their legs, you can see, they are very having strong legs there. Okay, emu, this is very strong legs, they are having very strong legs, you can say. Emu is having very strong legs, you can say, very strong legs. माने जदि से माने गोटे किक देबे, okay, if the giving an kick particularly, okay, giving an kick, one may die also. Okay, if they went for an kick, they one may die also. This is very strong kicks particularly, we can say, very strong kicks here, you can see, one may die also, right? Okay, very strong legs, I can say, very strong legs. Okay, this is right. So even if emu, this variety of your ostrich, this emu variety, okay, they lay eggs, and emu eggs are very expensive in the market, we can say, emu variety expensive. Next we can see, they can run very fast, emu can run very fast, we can say, emu can run very fast. The kookaburra is a kind of kingfisher. So we came to know that emu runs very fast. Then kookaburra is a one kind of kingfisher, this one. Okay, see this one, kingfisher, because its nose, it's big. Okay, that thonta ta big, that big thonta, it is, okay, it is just like it's so beautiful bird. This is exceptionally, kookaburra is found in Australia. This is only, okay, this is one variety of your kingfisher. This is basically one variety of your kingfisher. Okay, କାହିଁକି ମାଛରଙ୍କା जोटा ଆମେ କହନ୍ତି ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ, this is ମାଛରଙ୍କା ଚଢ଼େଇ, this is kingfisher, ହେଲା, but its name is kookaburra in Australia. Again, okay, it is famous for its peculiar laughter sound. Basically ये जो चढ़ेईटा, ये it is laughter sound, माने it produces a variety of sound, okay, that may puzzle to the front, who is in front particularly. Okay, famous peculiar laughter sound. The higher bird is a beautiful bird which has two long feathers. It is famous for excellent mimic skills particularly. Higher bird is there also. Okay, that is higher bird, which is very beautiful bird. It give mimic. Mimic means it is particularly mimicry करिए, माने वन जो अगर कोई बोल रहा है उसका वो कॉपी करेगा. Okay, mimic. This higher bird is doing that one. Then cockatoo is also beautiful bird in Australia. Cockatoo is another variety of bird. It is very beautiful in Australia. Cockatoo also a beautiful bird in Australia. Cockatoo. So this is all about flora. Okay, we have completed, and fauna. Okay, this is all about the fauna that you have seen. Wow, beautiful. This particular creatures are. Okay, one we saw the koala, panda. Then we saw this one, your platypus. Okay, platypus. This is a mammal variety which also lay eggs and suckle its infant. Okay, youngs. Then we see here emu. Okay, just strong leg birds, right? Strong leg birds in there. And next we will see this one, kookaburra. So this is all about your flora and fauna of Australia. Okay, flora and fauna of Australia we'll see here. Next we will go for this one, that is minerals of Australia. Mineral resources. Okay, what is mineral resources Australia's? Mineral wealths, or we can say Khanija Sampada, or we can say mineral wealth of Australia. We can say the mineral wealth of Australia. Okay, mineral wealth of Australia. So mineral wealth of Australia, basically we can say, okay, what are the minerals? These minerals, what mineral wealth they make? Okay, what they do? Mineral wealth they makes. Okay, mineral wealth they makes country prosperous. We can say they make country prosperous by establishing industries, also generating. This gives con. If industries are there, then it generates employment. Okay, it generates employment. Then, okay, so this automatically it leads to higher economic growth of the country. That is GDP. GDP rises because of this one. Okay, GDP rises because of this minerals. Okay, any country's GDP. So minerals, if I say that Australia is basically it is blessed with variety kind of your mineral resources. Variety kind of. Jamti India भी अच्छी, Australia भी jamti high grade coals are there basically. High grade coals you will find in the Australia, mineral wells. Okay, so Australia is basically it's basically a developed Australia. Okay, Australia is a developed country. We can say developed country. That means highly industrialized. Okay, highly, we can say highly industrialized. This is your highly industrialized developed country, highly industrialized, or we can say it is your highly urbanized also. That is what is Australia is, highly urbanized. This one, Australia is a country which is highly urbanized. Okay, why? Because of lots of industries are settled. Why? From where it is generated? From minerals. So let us know which minerals are there in Australia. Let's see. Okay, which minerals? Basically Australia, like in Australia, like India, we have variety sources of your minerals. Like in Australia, it also found, okay, in Australia, will also found your petroleum. Petroleum, see this one, this is petroleum in Australia. This, see the symbol, this is petroleum. Okay, next you see the natural gas, petroleum is there. Here in Tasman Sea also you will get, this is Tasman Sea, Tasman Sea area, Tasman Sea area. This is the petroleum you will find here. Then you will find natural gas. Natural gas is there. Here you will find natural gas. This is natural gas, you will find. Also here in desert area, you will find the natural gas here. Then coal you find, this is Australia is very rich in coal. You find this one, southwestern regions, particularly southwestern region. Okay, coal you will find here. Next, this is also coal area. You will find coal, this area, maximum. This is coal. You will find maximum area, Australia is all coal, right? Next, tin is there, SN. Tin is also very important. Tin is very important in your industry. Tin is here. See this one. Excuse me. Tin is there. Diamond also find in the Western Australia. This is diamond, you see, Kimberley. Diamond D. Diamond also you will find in this area. Diamond. This area also diamond. Okay, diamond. These areas are your diamond area. Okay. Next, iron ore. Australia is very good in your iron ore reserves, particularly iron ore. This one. Okay. Northern province, iron ore. Western Australia, northern province. This one. Okay. Next, you see the gold. Gold also. This is Kulgarli, Kalgoorlie. This is gold area. Kulgarli and Kalgoorlie area. This is your gold area. Okay. Copper also rich. You can see the copper. Copper in this area. This is copper. Okay. This is copper area in the your Queensland province and Northern Australia. You will find. Then aluminium also will get it. Okay. Then your zinc. This one is your zinc. And PB is your lead. Okay. PB is the lead. This is zinc, lead also. Zinc and lead you can see. Okay. Next you get the aluminium. Aluminium means your bauxite. Okay. Aluminium is there. Here you see aluminium also. Australia aluminium. Then zinc, lead and uranium and nickel. You will see here uranium. Australia is good quality of uranium also you will find in Australia. This is in the northern province. This is your uranium. Okay, and your nickel. Nickel is also good quantity. Here see each one, copper, coal and your gold, and nickel you will find in the also in Australia also nickel. Okay, right. This is also gold, and nickel also you will find in this province also. Nickel also find. So nickel also you will find here. So we will see that when Australia is blessed with many variety of minerals that is deposited. That means I am okay. If we conclude particularly, then though Australia's major population they reside in the eastern part, but despite of that, Australia's mineral wealth is dissipated or disseminated, meaning throughout the country's territory. Okay, or throughout the periphery of the Australia. That is what Australia is. We I came to know this one. Okay, right. So we'll continue again. We will continue with your mineral resources. Okay, from onwards we'll continue your mineral resources again. Okay, right. Okay, just what I would suggest, please read your NCERT. NCERT is basically NCERT. If I say NCERT 12th class NCERT, okay, sorry, your 6th through basically 6th to 10th NCERT, you will find the old NCERT. Okay, you will find your world regional. World regional, you will mainly find your 6th to 12th class NCERT. Basically, 6th through 12th class NCERT, you will find your world regional mainly. And this will help you, and along with that one you will go for an Oxford, Oxford School Atlas. You will find Oxford School Atlas, that is also good. Also Oxford School Atlas, it is also very good. So these are the basic things that for world regional. I hope your people of Australia, people of Australia, people of Australia, if I say, then Australia, people of Australia means regarding we'll study the your particularly the demographic structures, tribes, the cities and union territories, many things that we'll cover under this here. So as previously we have discussed, Australia has territories, your Western Australia, Northern Territory, Queensland, South Australia and New South Wales. Okay, and these are the major five yours. That is yours, particularly 5 and Victoria. Major 6 1. Okay, New Western Australia, Northern Territory, Southern Australia, Queensland, New South Wales, and Victoria. They are the major 6 provinces that Australia has. So, if we talk about the Australia, then Australia is also, as we know, that Australia is the smallest continent, and it is also the country wise. If we see the ranks, it is also 6th. Okay, rank wise, if we say the Australia having 6th rank in terms of area, right? So, if I moving forward, that Australia till 18th century, Australia was little known to the outsiders. Okay, if I say till 18th century, Australia was little known to the outsiders. Okay, today it is wealthy, industrialized nations with a small population. If we say today it is a wealthy, industrialized nation with small population. Okay, with a small population, it attracts immigrants from all over the world. It attracts immigrants from all over the world. Australia the population I may discuss kariba. Okay, Australia it is only having 2.4 crore. We can say maximum 2.4 crore population. Such an vast country. Okay, such a vast country that we can say that it is the 6th largest country, where it is the population is only 2.4 crore population. Okay, Australia population is 2.4 crore. If I say that one, that our Odisha is double than the population of your Australia. Again, Australians enjoy some of the highest standards of living in the world. Australians enjoy some of the highest standards of living in the world. Okay, and they are sports loving and produces many coins. They are basically sports loving and they produces many coins. Okay, sports loving and they produce many coins. Basically, they are very much sports loving and many coins. For better administrative governance, Australia is divided into 6 states. Particularly, Australia divided into 6 states. 6 states or provinces. Australia is mainly divided. That is your Western Australia, Northern Territory, Queensland, South Australia, New South Wales, and Victoria. Australia has the 6 major territories. That is your Western Australia, Northern Territory, Queensland, South Australia, New South Wales, and Victoria. These are the major 6 provinces of Australia. Tasmania is also comes under its its jurisdictions, territorial jurisdiction of Victoria. I can say that we can write here Tasmania. Under your Victoria. Just look at the map here again. Map Tasmania. This is Tasmania. This small your island. Okay, island mass is your Tasmania. Tasmania is comes under your, particularly we can say it is Victoria. Victoria under he Tasmania tomar asuchi, right? Okay, and Victoria major Melbourne is in Victoria, and where if you see Sydney and Canberra is in New South Wales. Question bachale, you can write Sydney and Canberra is in New South Wales. Melbourne is in Victoria. Brisbane is in your Queensland. Okay, where the Adelaide is South Wales and Perth is your Western Territory, and Darwin is in your Northern Territory. Okay, these are the things that we have to just remember these ones. Okay, right? So city wise whenever there is a question asked, you will say Brisbane is in Queensland province. Where? This is Brisbane. Major cities. Then if I say Sydney and Canberra, it is in your New South Wales, where Melbourne is in Victoria, and your Adelaide is in South Australia. Western Australia is Perth. Okay, and your Darwin your Northern Territory, right? These are the Aborigines of Australia, and come back to this page again. If we go for the people of Australia, The native of this continent are Aborigines. I can say the native of this continent are Aborigines who came from Asia thousands of years ago. Hajare barsha purburu, if I say thousands of years ago, these natives they came to Australia. Settlement by the British started after the discovery of Australia by British traveller. Okay, settlement jodi koiba, it is the discovery started by the British traveller Captain James Cook in 1770. You can say by Captain James Cook, it is in 1770 basically. Okay, so it is, so we can say that one, that it is the James Cook in 1770. In 18th century, that is, we can say 1770 mashyare James Cook, Captain James Cook has discovered the Australia continent. Okay. Native of this Aborigines mane your particularly tribes. We can say the tribes, like indigenous tribes. We can say the tribes of Australia, indigenous tribes, right? This is, they are the indigenous tribes of Australia. Okay, we can say they are well preserved in Australia. They are well preserved in Australia. Australia government is taking care of such tribes, right? And mostly jodi we discuss kariba, these tribes are mainly, they are reside in your Tasmania. We can say mostly they in this vast Tasmania and your this part, your southern part of Australia and your western part of Australia. There's mostly seen, mostly in this Bass Strait and this Victoria, New South Wales. Okay, in this they are mainly resided in this part, this part. So then Captain James Cook landed near the present Sydney Harbour and named the land as New South Wales. So present day we can say the Captain Cook, he landed in the New South Wales. Okay, Sydney Harbour. If we see here, he landed here. Captain James Cook landed here in this area, Sydney Harbour, and he named as this place as New South Wales. Okay, Captain James Cook gave the name as New South Wales, this place. Okay. Okay, the first group of people settled near Sydney in 1778. Okay, 1778, the first group of people they have settled here, and later after Second World War, other European countries came to settle in the Australia. Okay, later in the second half of Europe, other people they came to settle in your Australia. Okay. So again, in the mineral wealth, we have already studied that the people, those who migrated or came to Australia because of the gold rush, because the discovery of the gold in the early in your late 19th century has attracted the people, okay, surrounding from the globe, mainly from the Europe to Australia, to settle in Australia. Okay, that is mostly after the Second World War, the European countries came to settle in Australia. Okay, after World War II, the many of the European countries they came to settle in Australia. Australia now has a mixed populations of whites, Asians and Aborigines. Basically, Australia's population has a mixed population. We can say that is your whites, Asian and Aborigines. Okay, they are basically Asian, whites and Aborigines and other races. These Aborigines constitute 3% of Asia's population. Particularly, we can say these Aborigines they constitute about 3% of your Australia's population. Their cave painting and rock carving are part of Australia's heritage. We can say their cave painting and rock carving are a part of Australian heritage. Many places in Australia has given Aborigines name. They have given the boomerang. Particularly, they have given the boomerang particularly. Okay, a curved wooden weapon. Okay, in Australia, many people these Aborigines they generally use your curved weapon. Curved weapon, that is called your boomerang. To Australia, they used to hunt on being throwing which came back. They used to come hunt, they used to come back. Those are right. This again the destiny sorry the density of population in Australia is only 3.2 per persons per square kilometer. If we see, so boomerang we have seen in this your movie that is your Jungle Book movie, that is also we have already saw that one, how this Mowgli throw that one, that is this kind of curved weapon they generally throw to the animal to hunt and it again came back. Okay. Okay. Next, you see here density of the population. If you see the population density of Australia, you see here persons per square kilometer. This is under 1. This population is under 1. Can you imagine? This is your under 1 population. This one. Okay. Where you saw here, this is 1 to 10 particularly per square kilometer. Such an such as thin country. Okay. But population wise, and 10 to 50 is here. You can say 10 to 50, this is 10 to 50, 10 to 50, this is 10 to 50, this is 10 to 50, right? 1 to 10 is here, 1 to 10 is here, this is 10 to 50, right? 10 to 50, okay? So these are the thing clusters you see. This is your Brisbane area, Brisbane. This is your Sydney and Canberra. This is your Melbourne. Okay, Melbourne, and this is your Adelaide, this particular what, Melbourne, and this is your Perth, and this is your, okay, if we see here, North corner, okay, some of the, okay, and this is your Tasmania. So, can you see such a vast continent where the total population is 2.4 crore kilometer and the people, they has been disseminated or particularly in a very thin line in Australia that you can see here, okay. So density of the population in Australia is 3.2 persons per square kilometer. This is the lowest population density found in any continent other than Antarctica. So we can say that one, this is the lowest density populations, okay, lowest population density found in any continent other than Antarctica. Other than Antarctica, you can see this after, that means we can say that one, that after Antarctica, Australia is the lowest population density continent. Okay, just make a note of it. After Antarctica, we can say Australia is the lowest population density continent. We can say this one. Next, more than half the total population of the country, more than half of the total population of the country is in New South Wales and Victoria. Okay, if you see here, okay, this along the 2.4 crore population, out of 2.4 crore population, half of the population is located in this New South Wales and Victoria. Just you can see here. That means Australia 50% population is located here. More than 50% of Australia's population, more than 50% of Australia's population are located here. Okay, more than 50% of Australia's population is located in New South Wales and Victoria, right? Okay, and remaining 1 crore is your, they are disseminated or spread across the Australian continent. This is. Okay, so one thing I have to say that whenever you study in that sense, so that it can, it helps you in your better understanding and providing you resolve the questions. That is the major important while you study the things, right? So next we can see the population we have covered, population part. Next we'll cover to your density, that is your agriculture of Australia. We can see the agriculture of Australia. See this one. Agriculture of Australia, if we see, mostly Okay, again, if you see Australia, major focus concentration is here in this part. Again, that is your, or I can say this is your Murray-Darling Basin. I can say Murray-Darling River Basin. Murray-Darling River Basins रे majorly एटी कौन कौन होची particularly wheat, tobacco, rice, sugar cane है जदि हम देखियो तमे wheat and your fruits, vegetable, rice and sugar cane. Majorly wheat cultivation. This is a Murray-Darling Basins. Okay, Murray-Darling Basin, wheat, tobacco, rice majorly concentrated, and here it is your, you find this area also wheat, and also Mediterranean Sea also prevails here. This is the you have marked here. Next. If you see, majority of Australia's soil, if we go for the agriculture, right? Majority of Australia's soil is poor and low rainfall. We can say majority of Australia's soil is poor and low rainfall. A vast area of central Australia is rocky desert and sandy surface. We can say that one. Okay. A vast area, soil is poor. Why? Because a vast area of central Australia is rocky desert and sandy surface. That you can see here. Okay. Already we have named. This is the completely barren. This is, we know that one, this part is Australia, half of the, this is your particularly a Australian desert. We can say this area, this complete area is your desert, Australian desert. Okay, the tropical forest and the grassland do not have fertile soils. If I say the tropical grassland and excuse me, the tropical forest and the grass do not have the fertile soils. The fertile soils are only confined to the Murray-Darling Basin. So if we can say that one, these fertile soils, they are majorly confined to the Murray-Darling Basins. Hence, this is the most important region of agriculture. We can say this is the most important regions of your agriculture, right? Murray-Darling Basin, that we have already discussed here. This is the region of Murray-Darling Basins. And if you see the atlas also, it is also clear. Just a minute. If you see the atlas of Australia, this is also clear that Murray-Darling Basins, if you see, look at here. This you can see Murray-Darling Basins. This you can see here, Murray-Darling Basin river is here. Okay, Australia, this is Murray-Darling Basins. This is your, your Murray-Darling Basins, where this river is basically very fertile. And that is why you can see from the picture here that maximum your cultivation agricultural crops are perpetuated, continued here in Murray-Darling Basins, right? Next, due to ample availability of water and mechanized farming, we can say ample availability of water and mechanized farming, agricultural production is very high. Okay, agricultural production is very high. Okay, your mechanized farming and availability of water. Okay, the agricultural lands are confined to the southwestern and southeastern regions. Particularly, we can say southwestern and southeastern regions and the narrow eastern coast of continent. Narrow eastern coast of continents. Irrigation facilities enable farmers cultivations in the areas of scanty rainfall. We can say the irrigation facilities enables farmers in the cultivation in the areas of scanty rainfall. जो एरिया रे तुम्हारा scanty rainfall होची irrigation facilities, facilities enable the farmers cultivation in areas of scanty rainfall. Okay, wherever there is a scanty rainfall, rainfall is less in those areas. Basically, your irrigation facilities are majorly there. Okay, wherever there is your scanty rainfall. Okay, so here we can already clear the agricultural lands are confined to the southwestern and southeastern regions and the narrow eastern coast particularly. Okay, next. See this one. This is the mechanized farming that is done in Australia. This is the mechanized farming that you can see here. This is the mechanized farming in Australia. Okay. See, these are all the wheat cultivations. Let's see. Wheat is there. Okay. Again, like you see, this is the wheat cultivation that is perpetuated in your Australia. Next is the food crops. We can say the food crops. Food crops mainly here wheat, barley, maize, oats are the major food crops of this continent. We can say the major food crops of this continent are wheat, barley, maize and oats. Okay, wheat, barley, maize and oats. Wheat is the most important crop. We can say wheat is the most important crop that you can see here. Okay, wheat is the most important crop that is you're cultivated in or mostly done by your Australian farmers, wheat. And see, this is the completely mechanized, and Australia is also a leading exporter of wheat. Okay, because everything is mechanized in Australia, right? Okay, next we will see Australia exports 70 to 80% of wheat productions. Okay, जितनी की माने ऑस्ट्रेलिया रे जितना भी हो रहा है, जितना भी प्रोडक्शंस हो रहा है, तब among that one, out of that 70 to 80% production of wheat is export है ये. Okay, a temperate climate with moderate rainfall favors the cultivation. We can say a temperate climate with moderate rainfall, particularly temperate climate with moderate rainfall favors its cultivation. Rice too is cultivated in these areas. We can say rice too is cultivated in these areas, right? Okay, food crops. Rice also cultivated in these areas, we can say. Cash crops, sugar cane, cotton, tobacco are the main cash crops here. Sugar cane, cotton and particularly tobacco. Okay. Sugarcane, cotton and tobacco are the main cash crops here. Okay, main cash crops you can see here, sugarcane, cotton and tobacco. That you can also from this map also you can see this one. Hello, tobacco here. This is your tobacco. Okay, this is your tobacco. This is your sugarcane. We can write sugarcane, tobacco. Okay, sugarcane, tobacco and fruits. These are also cultivated here. Sugarcane, okay, that is. Okay, this is also tobacco. Okay, in this area. That means we can see here. You can out of analysis we can get that. Okay, or we can interpret that tobacco, sugarcane, and especially sugarcane. It is mostly practiced in the eastern coastal part, or the tropical part. This is New South Wales is your tropical part, and this is your here mostly in the your particularly tropical part, or we can say okay the places which are near to your Tropic of Capricorn, there those areas mainly faces your or practiced with your sugarcane. That you can see. Australia is divided. Upper part your hot torrid zone because of your presence of your Tropic of Cancer. And also northern part, if you see Queensland area, they are close to the equator, this particular part. Okay, and southern part is your temperate, that is you can see this part, cool climate. Okay, right? So, okay, they are cultivated in the warm tropical regions of the east coast. Mostly they are cultivated in the warm tropical regions of the east coast, particularly warm tropical regions of the east coast. Next we see various tropical and temperate fruits are also grown in Australia. You can say various tropical, okay, and temperate fruits are also grown in Australia. In Australia also various tropical and temperate fruits, they are also grown in Australia. The tropical fruits mainly in the north, they are bananas. If you see, that means in the your Queensland province, basically Queensland province, Queensland province is basically your humid area, tropical humid area or torrid zones that comes under. Okay, okay. Hello? Bananas, papayas and pineapples are those kind of tropical fruits. They are mainly done in your Australia. Then the temperate fruits cultivated in the south are orange, apples and grapes. Fruits are also exported. So if I divide Australia, Australia is basically what we saw, that temperate fruits. If I say, just have a look here. Okay, if I see, so here this person area, this is your tropical fruits of Australia, tropical fruits of Australia. This portion, this region, this is your tropic of, this is your tropic of Capricorn. Okay, this is your tropical fruit, and here this is your temperate fruit, right? This is your tropical fruit and temperate fruit. If I say above Tropic of Capricorn, when, what is this one? This is your, we can say Tropic of Capricorn is your 23, you can say 23.5 degree south, okay, south of the equator. So from here we can see that one, that if we cut Australia into two halves, upper half is your particularly your hot zone, and your lower half is particularly southeastern part, that is completely temperate part, or this part is your temperate part, we can say. Okay, southern part. Okay, so temperate fruit, that is mostly confined to this place, your temperate fruit, we can say. This part is your mostly wherever there is a Mediterranean climate, we can know that one, wherever there is a Mediterranean climate, your temperate fruit you will find. That means a cool climate. In hot climate, mostly it is your tropical fruit. Okay. Going ahead, we can see, okay, then we'll come to your pastoral farming. Okay, that is called your pastoral farming. Pastoral farming, you can say Australia's extensive grassland favors the animal rearing, basically. Okay, Australia's extensive farmland that favors your animal rearing, that is your pastoral farming. Animal rearing means particularly they live on your particularly livelihood is mainly depend on your animal ranchings, particularly in the, if I say the ancient times, or the tribal people like in India, like Gajjar and Bakrewalas in your Jammu Kashmir, Uttarakhand and those area, they live mostly in the ranchers. But here they are, basically they are this pastoral farming, they're basically they go for your your basically for commercial purpose, like your dairy farming, your sheep farming, let us know none. So pastoral farming is more important than cultivation of crops, we can say. Pastoral farming is more important than the cultivation of crops in Australia. Sheep rearing is more commercially organized. In Australia, sheep rearing is more commercially organized. Let us know this one. See this one. These are the jackaroos. Okay. Let's see. Australia is the leading producer of wool in the world. If we analyze, Australia is the leading producer of wool in the world. Leading producer of the wool. That you can say it contributes more than 25% of world's wool that is near about more than, now you can say more than $3 billion US dollar. If I compare that one, it is more than 3 billion US dollar. Okay, currently, particularly 25% of the wool. Okay, contribute to the 25% of the wool produces wool in the world. It contribute more than 25% of the world's wool. Okay, more than 25% of the world's wool. Right? 3 billion US dollar, that is 3 billion, more than. Okay, so India will be wool production way, but Indian wools are not, that after the not that mark, it is an apparel, mostly apparel. Okay. See, Australia particularly, then the merino sheep, if we see the merino sheep, and improved breed produces the best quality of wool. Okay. Okay, the best quality of sheep rearing are the temperate grasslands, particularly you can say the Australian wools, particularly merino sheep, that breed produces the best quality of wool. The best quality of sheep rearing are the temperate grassland of the Murray-Darling basins and part of the western regions. Basically, if I say your Australia's, okay, that is merino sheep. See, look at here, these are the merino sheeps. See, such an your very improved variety of this sheep, merino sheep, and basically their wool, particularly, okay, from their wool, basically, see, commercial shipping, particularly if you see the lamb, these are called the lambs. Okay, these are called the lambs, and lambs are basically, I can say, lambs. We can say the lambs are they're basically grown up for the two purpose in Australia. One is for their meat, and second one is for their wool, wool for their productions, wool, right? Meat and wool. So these are the merino varieties. These are a very improved variety, or basically we can say commercially they have grown up for your meat and wool, right? So the best quality of the sheep rearing are the temperate grasslands of the Murray-Darling basins, temperate grasslands of the Murray-Darling basins and parts of the western regions Jackaroos, next, jackaroos are the walkers who are looking after the sheep. Basically, we can say that one. Jackaroos are the walkers who are looking after the sheep. Okay, sheep stations are built for commercial purpose. Basically, in Australia, sheep stations are built for your commercial purpose. Okay, dairy cattle are reared in the eastern coastal regions of Queensland. We can say in the eastern coastal regions of Queensland, dairy cattle is basically Queensland, eastern coastal regions basically. Okay, Queensland province, this one we can say. Queensland province, eastern coastal province, basically here your dairy farming, okay, this supports this farming, particularly dairy farming, this particular, we can say, this areas, we can say, rather Queensland, this area, here supports your dairy farming, we can say. Okay, dairy farming. Majorly this area is your dairy farming. Okay, before that one, now again I come back to this, you can say merino sheep that are temperate grassland, Murray-Darling basins and parts of the western regions. We can say Murray-Darling basin and parts of the western region. Parts of the western region means these are the parts, right? Wheat. This is also wheat. So wheat, I can say this one, this is the part of wheat, and most of the wheat you are getting, this is wheat. This is wheat, this part, all. That means you are again two sides, that is your New South Wales, two provinces of Australia, New South Wales and Victoria. Two things are there, New South Wales and Victoria. Majorly, two New South Wales and Victoria. Okay, next we'll see. So, first will the jackaroos are the workers who are looking after the sheep. So, now come down these merino sheeps. These sheeps, they are mainly taken care by these jackaroos particularly. And if we see the Australian government, their Australian government has provided employed these jackaroos particularly. Okay, they are the jackaroos. They are the jackaroos who are taking care of this sheep and other cattle variety. Means I mean your cow and buffalo also. Okay, mainly sheep, cow, and also buffaloes. These varieties. So Australian government deploy these jackaroos. They have been paid for that one emoluments. In fact, for for their family or their children, they are making an fazendas where there is schools, hospitals, and other amenity centers are there also, where they live in the colonies. So specially for your farming purpose, means pastoral farming, right? So jackaroos are the workers who are looking after workers. They are basically the workers who are looking after the sheep. Sheep stations are built for the commercial purpose. Dairy cattle are reared in the eastern coastal regions of coastline. So dairy farming is Australia's one of the major activity. Australia is also and major producers in dairy products also in the world. Okay, so we can say reared in the eastern coastal regions of Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, and Tasmania. So we can see that one. Okay, which are the areas where this dairy farming is dairy cattle. So cattle dairy is particularly here found here. You can say that one in this area. Okay, New South Wales, Queensland, dairy farming. I can say dairy farming, or dairy farming is mainly which area? We can say this New South Wales. We can say this one your New South Wales. Okay, and here this part. I'm sorry, this is not a New South Wales. Already, this is your Queensland. Sorry, Queensland, and this part your New South Wales and Victoria, and other part we can say this is your and this part your we can say your your Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, and this part also dairy farming, that is your Tasmania. This is your Tasmania. So these are the parts where you find your rearing. I mean sheep rearing is major. This part your majorly wheat, and your animal rearing or other your animal ranching is hardly going for that one there. Okay. So next we see a major then. Okay, nearly 60% of Australia's milk production comes from Victoria. So Victoria is the province where 60% of Australia's milk we are getting from this Victoria. This is the person. Australia's 60% milk. This is including Tasmania. If I say including Tasmania, it is 60% of milk. Australia's milk is coming from this Victoria province. Or if you see the diagram, it will be more clear also. Right? If you see the diagram, it is more clear also. Australia's 60% milk comes from here. This is 60% of Australia's milk that is come from Victoria. Victoria means this is the smallest person, Victoria, and this Tasmania. These two things. Okay, Victoria. So a major share of milk is used for making what the milk are used for? Milk are basically used for butter, cheese, okay, butter, cheese, milk powder, okay, butter, cheese, and milk powder, which are exported too also. Okay, butter, cheese, your milk powder, those are also exported too also, right? So Australia also, we can say that one is a leading producer of your products, milk products, right? And dairy products, dairy related products. Australia also one of the leading producer in the world. Okay. Next we'll go for your industries, right? Industries of Australia. So as we know that Australia is a developed country. Okay, Australia is also leading producers of your mineral resources. You have already knew that one. Australia has an your good quality reserves of your iron ore, coal, gold, okay, manganese also. So let's see the industries there. If we see the industries of Australia, it is this one. Industries of Australia is mainly concentrated, you can say, it is mainly concentrated in this Brisbane, okay, New South Wales, Sydney, Melbourne, okay, Adelaide, Port Pitt, along Melbourne, okay, and some of the area in the Perth, okay, major concentrated again. See, one thing is mostly common, okay, that is Australia's industries are morely common. You are concentrated in again New South Wales and Victoria. Just look at here again the same thing, New South Wales and Victoria province. Major part, I can say the major part. Some parts you can see your southern Australia, but major part you can see this is your New South Wales. Again, everywhere the same. New South Wales, whether you see in agriculture also and industries, plus Victoria. Okay, agriculture and Victoria. And this is your Western Australia. Right, Western Australia. Right? See, what are the products there? Basically, the chemicals, iron and steel plant, wherever there is an I, that is an iron and steel plant. Iron and steel plant. You can see chemicals, iron and steel plant. Oil refinery, you can see the oil refinery. Textiles, shipbuilding, okay, textile shipbuilding. Then dairy, you can see. Like textile shipbuilding and dairy. Okay. And this is your automobiles. Okay. This is your automobiles here. This is your automobiles. Right? Automobiles. Let's see. Australia is one of the industrialized countries of the world. Australia is the one of the industrialized country in the world. The need, the need process its agricultural products and the rich reserves of iron and coals. If we analyze, okay, Australia is the one of the leading industrialized countries of the world. The needs, okay, need to process its agricultural products and rich reserves of iron and coal are the major factors responsible for the industrial progress. Okay, if we see, okay, any industrialized country that is majorly developed country, that is it has to be your industrialized. So industrialized country means it is majorly your iron and steel industries, basically reserves of your iron and coal. So Australia is blessed with your industry, your iron, good quality of iron and coal, which makes Australia more strength. Okay, we strengthen Australia, okay, to be an industrialized nation. Along with that, Australia also good quality of agricultural products. Next, cotton textile, we can say woolen textile, sugar, food processing, dairy and meat packing are the agro-based industries also. If we analyze also, okay, agro-based, that is your cotton textile, woolen textile, sugar, okay, food processing, dairy and meat packing are also agro-based. Okay, come to the meat packing now. Australia's, if I say the export in terms of meat, Australia also a leading, exporter in terms of your meat. I mean dairy products means also it incorporates your meat also, right? It also incorporates your meat. Australia, we can say that one, Australia is a leading, okay, in exporter of meat. Meat means mostly Australian lambs are mostly widely accepted in other parts of the globe. Meat, lamb means मेंढा जोटा हमें को सिप है सिप रो माने छुआटा को कहते तमरो उसके बच्चा को बोलते हैं कि लैम. ओके, So Australian lambs are widely that is accepted in other parts of the globe. Next, the important. Okay, so here before coming to this paragraph again, I will say that leading woolen textile, we can say cotton textile. Apart from cotton textile, okay, woolen textile also important. Then sugar and food processing. Food processing means basically, particularly the products, food products basically. Like your Australia also, like in Europe, as we have studied, in Europe they are leading in your is basic type of your, we can say, your donuts, like your variety of pastries, cakes. Australia also various types of leading in your milk products. Okay, like your cheese, variety type of cheese. Like if you eat in burger, okay, burger में आप लोग खाते हो ना, that one kind of cheese and okay, different types of that varieties also you will find here. Means Australia is making here particularly, and this is widely worldwide. There is a huge demand for this one, right? Okay, food processing, dairy, okay, meat packing are the agro-based industries. So we came to know here from the analysis or discussion that Australia is not only your industrialized, also agro-based industries also Australia is much ahead than other countries, right? So the important mineral based industries are iron and steel basically. What are the important mineral based? Iron and steel. Oil refinery, you can see here, these are the oil refineries. See, oil refinery you can see, again oil refinery you can see here in the Perth area, western area, this is the Perth area, this is your oil refinery you can see, Australian oil refinery. Right, in this area, in the Perth area, this is also the oil refinery. This is the area. This is your refinery, oil refinery. Okay, this is also Sydney. You're going for oil refinery. This is also okay. No, this is your iron and steel plant. Yes, this is iron. Sorry, this is iron steel plant. Iron steel plant. Iron steel plant, this one, your iron steel plant. Oil refinery, you are getting in western side. This is Perth we are getting. Here, this is near your Adelaide. You can see here from the diagram also you can see. Please open that one diagram. You can see this one. See, this is the area Adelaide. So this area is near your this particular. If you match here, this is the Adelaide area. This is your Adelaide. Adelaide is highly industrialized. You can say this is your Adelaide. Adelaide. You can say this is your Adelaide, right? Okay, and some parts you can see here. Some parts your Melbourne and these areas, right? Dye products. So we can see. So besides that one, oil refining, besides this, other than industries are the motor vehicles also there, machinery, domestic appliances, shipbuilding, plastic goods, electronic goods, chemicals, paper, transport and equipment. Other than this, you will find there are also your vehicles, machinery, domestic appliances, shipbuilding, plastic goods, electronic goods. Okay, electronic goods means basically your semiconductors, we can say that one. Semiconductors are Australia the leading in semiconductors. We can, okay, electronic goods, chemicals, paper, transport and equipments. Also Australia is leading. Semiconductors in Australia leading that one. Okay, so here you can see this one. Okay, semiconductors here you can see. Okay, see the Tasmania, this is also Tasmania also leading producer of dairy also, right? So next we can say transport equipment means, particularly you can say the transport equipment means your particularly like जैसे बनाते हैं ना कि agriculture transport equipment, that you can see here, agriculture transport equipment that you can see here. This is one, this particular type of equipment. This is also Australia is leading in this type of particular. This type of agriculture equipment Australia is leading. It supplies to the, this is an agriculture equipment. This is agricultural, okay, equipment. used in your wheat farming mainly. Wheat farming, this is okay. Trailer, we can say this one. These are the trailers or cutting machines. Basically cutting, getting the cutting, okay, cutting of crops in harvesting season. Also, this is for your separating grains machine. Australia also leading separating grains machine. Okay, separating grains machine, food grains, particularly food grains. You can say this one. This is your food grains machine. Okay, and also which are the machineries? Particularly, I am telling also the tilling machine, tilling. You can say the tilling machines. Tilling means tilling. We can say that one tiller. Tilling or the tilling machines. Tilling machines also we can this one. So we'll get it know that one. See, Australia is the transport equipment, particularly apart from that one, your mostly agro processing, okay, agro processing equipments, okay, and also in mining equipments, okay, these are the thing, agro processing equipments, mining equipments, these are there. So next we can say a large number of industrial conglomerations are located in the New South Wales and Victoria. Okay, so already we have knew that one. A large portions of your industrial agglomerations, particularly, will find in the again New South Wales and Victoria. That already we have discussed here. Okay, so New South Wales and Victoria are the major region where Australia's industrial agglomeration is concentrated. We can say major industrial agglomeration is concentrated in New South Wales and your Victoria regions. Okay, finally, lastly, the large number of industries Australia are foreign owned, basically. So that means we can say why, what is the last this one? The large number of your industries in Australia are foreign owned. It means that maximum of your Australia industry, they are foreign owned means their FDI is coming outside, means foreign direct investment. If I say, okay, if I say FDI, Australia is one of the country where it receives maximum FDI. We can say maximum FDI coming to your Australia. You can say maximum to Australia. That is your Australia is one of it means foreign direct investment. Foreign direct investment. Okay. Foreign direct investment maximum we are getting from Australia, right? So FDI. So Australia is one of the leading, we can say that one, your FDI getting. So large number of industry we can say in Australia are foreign owned. Okay. So that means, okay, the summary is that Australia is highly industrialized. Major people of or employment they are getting in Australia. Okay. In your New South Wales and Victoria regions are the prosperous industrially prosperous regions, particularly if I say, and the other parts of Australia in a summary, Australia's, if I say, just making the summary this one, that what we have studied, okay. So we can say the entire Australia's 50% more than population is located here in the New South Wales and Victoria region. Second, we can say Australia is more than we can say 2.4 crore population, or we can say 2.5 crore population. Out of that, more than 50% located in New South Wales and Victoria. This particular part where the Australia capital Canberra is located in the New South Wales, Sydney like Melbourne, the other cities are located also here in New South Wales and Victoria. Okay, this our region is also prosperous in agriculture, also whether agro products, dairy farming, and other also your other industrial, whether it is your iron and steel plant or oil refinery or electrical appliances, etc. like this one. Okay, so this is all about your Australia and Oceania country. Okay. This is all about your Australian Oceania country. I will come with again another morning, your good morning topic, which is really helpful for your exam. Okay, so thank you all of you. Thank you. We'll meet with another interesting topic. Thank you all of you. Thank you. Take care. Thank you.